How's everybody doing today? Could y'all do me a favor? Those of you that are cool with it, could y'all try to slide up a little bit? Because here's the deal. I guarantee people are going to keep showing up the whole entire time. So if you guys let people leave open seats in front of you, they're going to all come in and make you all move and be a real big distraction when they get here. So I recommend you fill in the closest seats to the stage so they could just file in behind you, because we're expecting all these seats to fill up, and it's going to annoy you if they're filling up in front of you. Is that cool? All right. So we're just going to do this thing. I don't know if I should wear this because I'm about to hand it to you guys because there's no other microphones. All right, one sec. All right. That's a little easier for me. But welcome, everybody, to Masterclass Central Florida. How you guys doing today? It's a hard question because everyone doesn't know what noise to make or what to say, right? So thank you guys for coming out here and for braving the traffic. Or those of you that live on this side of town, congrats on not having to brave the traffic. I was stoked. I could have walked here. And I think we're moving here permanently. And if y'all don't like it, then that's, no, I'm just kidding. But we're really excited to have Michael Maher here, and I'll introduce him in a minute. But if you don't know why we're here, I'm shocked that you're here. But we do this every single month, 10 months of the year. We've been doing this for 5 years plus. It used to be called Masterclass Orlando. Now it's MasterclassCFL or Masterclass Central Florida. And the entire point is that about 6-7 years ago, we realized there weren't a lot of places where you could learn from other agents actually in the trenches without an ulterior motive or agenda. It was like everyone was either trying to recruit you to their brokerage or not share their secrets, or you can only you can see everyone from your office, but you can't learn from that office. And so what I realized was that being a neutral, objective source of information and inspiration in the real estate community. So if you don't know what Orlando Real Producers is, that's kind of what we do. We print a publication about the top 500 agents, and we throw events for them. And we realize that throwing private events based off your sales isn't really fair to people that want to join the group but didn't make it. So we decided that instead of having everyone hoard all their secrets, we would put them on stages and have top 500 agents teach what they're doing with no ulterior motive, no other agenda, nothing to sell you, nothing to recruit you for, no political or board affiliation, no association, no membership, none of that. And during COVID, we realized it was really hard because we didn't know how many people to let in a room or how many would actually show up. So we started charging some of you $10 and just giving it to charity. So when I say there's nothing to sell you, once in a while we're selling you on donating $10 to a charity. Hope you all don't mind that. We've given about $111,000 to charity, though, since making that decision. Can y'all give yourselves a round of applause? Maybe about 16 different charities. So anyway, Real Producers is put on by about 80 of the best service providers in greater Orlando. So everyone that you could meet in this room that does something other than sell real estate, they are personally recommended by someone that ranked in the top 500. That means someone vouched for them, they've been vetted, and they support this platform long term. So if you meet anyone in the room, they didn't just bring bagels or donuts. They're worth you going out of your way to make sure you meet. And can we give all the partners of Real Producers a quick round of applause? So we got a handful that step up every single month to bring you Masterclass, and definitely stepped up for us to be able to do this special edition today. It's a little extra long, and we got a way bigger speaker. So I'm going to let each of them just speak for just a minute. Honestly, it's not long enough for them to tell you everything they do, but if you guys get a lot out of today, can everyone do me just one favor and just reach out to one of the people that you see speak that you think would be worth connecting or learning a little bit more about? Could everyone try to do that if you learned something today? If you could, just say, oh, yeah? All right, sweet, because that's how we keep doing this thing, is if they stay happy. Doesn't mean you have to go buy stuff or anything. At least talk with them about what they do and hear them out. You probably want to work with these people because there's a reason their clients rank in the top 500. Does that make sense? So, without further ado, sorry that we didn't bring all the mics we usually bring, so you guys are going to have to pass this one down. You don't have to wear it, though, so don't worry. But can we give a quick round of applause to all the sponsors? By the way, take a picture of this thing. This is their logos. Michael's slideshow is going to run, so they're not going to keep showing. Meet these people at the end, and they're all going to tell you what they do. Let's give them a round of applause. Let's all come on up. Brandon.
Hey, good morning. Hey, I'm Brandon with the Staging Company. I'm really loud, so I don't even need this mic. Hey, in the past I've been talking about
Can you hear them on the Zoom without this? They can't hear you online without it.
Got it. All right, I'll use it. Oh, yeah, good call. So I'm going to take more than a minute, apparently. In the past, I've been talking to you guys about how staging sells houses on average for 15% more than vacant houses. Now the relevant statistic is that NAR says that stage houses sell 88% faster. I've lost track of how many homes have gone under contract in 3 or 4 days in the last couple of weeks to months, but it's a lot. But what I really wanted to highlight is that over the last 6 months, we've been really working on an offering for vacation rentals. So if you work with investors who do vacation rentals, come find us. We have a product that will save your clients thousands of hours of time, and it's cheaper than Facebook Marketplace. We also have product lines that go all the way up to, you know, your highly themed 17-bedroom Harry Potter houses. So reach out to me, reach out to Taylor, reach out to Marianne. Yeah, we got stuff for everybody, so come on.
Hello, good morning. All right, so my name is Monica with Assured Partners. I'm an insurance broker that represents over 25 different insurance companies. And today I'm going to come to you with roofs. Okay, so we all know that we deal with houses that have issues with roofs. If you're familiar with Citizens Insurance, Citizen is a state-run insurance company that a majority, I would say over 40% of homeowners here in Florida currently are insured through them. There's a lot of changes happening, but roof ages. So my lovely inspection partner, Heather, will be coming up here shortly talking about inspections. But right now, we went from 3 years of roof life expectancy left on a roof to 5 years. So if you guys are selling homes that Heather inspects and her team, and they say that that roof only has 4 or 2 years left of life, there may be an issue. So make sure you know the new changes, 5 years or more. Insurance is getting a little more difficult, but my team can definitely help. We represent plenty of companies, and we have plenty of agents that have 10 plus years of knowledge and experience. So if you need me, you can find me over there next to my lovely Cutco girl. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Cameron. Can you hear me? I'm Cameron with Old Republic Home Warranty. Home warranties are making, sellers are offering concessions. Sellers will pay for a home warranty. So don't be afraid to ask for a home warranty on your next contract. As always, buyers can pay for them themselves, or you as a realtor, you can pay for it as well. A couple of stats for you. In 2022, 73% of homeowners had a claim or appliance breakdown in the first year. 53% of those people paid between $1,000 and $5,000 to repair or get a new appliance. If they would have had a home warranty, it could easily have only cost them $85. So protect your clients, and if you have any questions, call me. I'm here for you. Thanks.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is David Quinones. I'm with Celebration Title Group, where celebration is not just our name, it is our mantra. So we pride ourselves on providing you and your clients with a 5-star closing experience. We are the home of the original confetti cannon closing. And we also pride ourselves in working with our realtor partners, really getting to know your business, your why, and how we can help partner with you. So
David Buckles with Reliant Home Offer. They're home buyers. They're your favorite home buyers. They want to buy a house. If you haven't linked with them, you should, because in the end of the day, especially in this iBuyer market, if I were a real estate agent, and again, you could just take this with a grain of salt because I've never been licensed, I would walk in the door knowing exactly what David would pay, what Open Door would pay, and what you want to list it for. And I'd just walk in and say, hey, I could just get you this cash offer. We can flip it to Open Door for the referral, or I list it for this much. And I would sometimes just sell the house to David and make your thing and move on. So y'all should look him up. Here's the Masterclass calendar for the year. Y'all should check that out. Make sure you join us next month at the Amphitheater. In a few minutes, I should have done this already, I will switch the link to MasterclassCFL.com. It'll link to next month's session. So hopefully at some point I'll plug it in the middle or at the end with Michael. Michael Hellickson's coming. He's the former #1 agent in America. Another amazing speaker. We're calling this the Summer of Michael. We brought the best one first. I'm just kidding. Don't repeat that I said that. I mean, I'm not kidding, but don't repeat that, even though I'm on video. No, Michael's a former #1 agent in the world. He had like 750 active listings and pendings at one time. He was selling about 100 homes a month for years. So he's going to speak about listings, leads, and leverage back at the Enzion Theater, 3rd Thursday of next month. But this month, the real reason you guys are all here is because of Michael J. Maher. Am I wrong? So Man, I thought I had a copy of this book sitting here, but I should have. So how many of you guys have read that book in that back corner, 7 Levels of Communication? Can you raise your hand really high and say, oh yeah? Everybody not talking. Look at all the beautiful people with their mouths open and their hands raised. No, I'm kidding, but you guys definitely should read this book. And I'll be transparent. I say this not to brag, but to kind of impress upon you. I've been reading 50 books a year for 8 years straight. And so I've read, and they're all related to personal development, sales, business, like stuff like that. And I can honestly tell you that the reason Michael's here is because 7 Levels of Communication is literally one of the best books ever written on building relationships and getting referrals. I've built my entire business off the principles from the book. I probably read it 10 years ago. Michael and I have been doing these sessions every few years, packing out rooms in Orlando. For, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years, he's spoken at a few of these master classes. And what's really cool about it is that just by taking his principles and transitioning from selling Cutco closing gifts like Christina is in the back of the room to running Real Producers, I've been able to 10x the relationships, the referrals, the influence, and all these things specifically from his strategies. And those of you that haven't read the book, you'll probably, when you hear them, be like, oh shit, that's what I've been seeing Aaron do. So whether it's the networking stack or the home court advantage, I know Ted's a huge user of both of those. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely transformed my life and my business. I can honestly say that I have probably made, I can promise you that his book has helped me earn at least $1 million. At least, directly from the principles of his book, probably more than that. So how many of y'all would like to earn an extra $1 million? Say, oh yeah? So that I would just say, listen to everything Michael says and implement it. Michael, to give you a little bit of backstory, he was one of the top real estate agents in America. He's been dubbed the most referred realtor in America. He's been given that nickname, so he gets a ton of referrals, generating hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of referrals. But he's also a stadium speaker. He usually speaks to much bigger rooms than we could fit here in Oviedo. Michael shared the stage with people you might have heard of. Like there was this guy, George Bush. Anyone ever heard of that guy? Former President Bush. Anyone ever heard of Tony Robbins? Another one, he co-authored a book with my good friend and my former life coach, Hal Elrod. So if you've ever read the book, The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents, if you haven't, buy it right now. But long story short, this guy is one of the best speakers, not just in the industry, but I think really just in general in America in the personal development space. So we're extremely lucky and honored to have him here for the morning teaching here in Oviedo. Could we give a giant round of applause? Maybe like jump to our feet and give a giant standing ovation and a round of applause. Let's welcome him with some Orlando energy to Michael J. Maher.
You ready to go? Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you, brother. Love you. Do me a favor real quick. Stand up, please, again. Stand up, please, again. There's your workout for today. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pair up. I want you to pair up with somebody next to you. Pair up with somebody around you, right? I prayed this morning for an even number. Pair up. Everybody paired up? It's pretty easy to pair up when you're in here pretty tight. Everybody paired up? All right, I'll move that down a little bit on the mic. If you have the longest hair in the pair, and your name is not Maher over there, then you are the A. So raise your hand if you are the A in your group. Now, if you have the shortest hair or no hair, you are the A plus. Raise your hand if you're the A plus. Dave Ramsey loves me, now you know why. Now, A's, A pluses, we're going to do a little bit of fun stuff today, all day long. We're going to have some fun. But the first thing we need to do is we need a meet and greet. So I want you to greet your new friend. A's, greet A pluses. Go ahead and do that. It's okay.
I know it's not ideal, but if you want to switch, it's there.
Okay. All right. If you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you're happy to know it, clap 3 times. All right, I have a kid. I can do that one. Now, I want you to greet your new friend in a slightly different way. I want you to greet your new friend, A's, A pluses. I want you to greet each other like the other just came up to you in the office or at Starbucks with a folder in their hand. And they said the following to you. They said, hey, listen, in this folder is a contract for $1 million property. It closes in 30 days. It's all cash. Sorry, lenders. It's all cash. And it closes in 30 days. And here's the thing. Inspections are done, appraisal's done, everything's done. It just closes in 30 days. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Hawaii for 60 days. And I want you to just take care of my friends, answer their questions, and show up at closing. And here's the kicker. Here's the thing is listen, I don't want to keep 75 and you get 25% like a referral fee. And I also don't necessarily want to make this a business transaction where it's 50-50. In fact, I don't even want a 25% referral fee. When that closes, that $1 million home, I want you to keep 100% of that commission. I want you to greet your new friend like they just handed you that folder and told you that news. Go. All right, if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you're happy and you know it, clap 3 times. All right, now I want you to greet them in a slightly different way. Now, I want you to imagine that this is your 25th year high school reunion. Now, for some of us, we're going to go back in time. For some of you, you're going to have to project forward for the 25th year high school reunion. But this is your 25th year high school reunion. And your new friend was your best friend in high school. They were your best friend. And you used to cruise around looking for boys, looking for girls, whatever it was. And if they ever wrote their memoirs, baby, you want first write a review because they know stuff. They know your high school stuff. And you would never want that printed so that your current spouse could see it. Or maybe that's just me. But here's the thing, is this is your 25th year high school reunion, but you haven't seen your high school best friend in 25 years. Because what happens after school? One of you go one way to go to school, start a family, start a business. The other of you go the other way to start a business, go to school, or start a family. You go your separate ways. Thank you, Journey, for that wonderful song. You go your separate ways. You've seen a little bit of what they've done on Facebook. You've seen their family, some things they've been doing. They've seen you and what you've been doing. But this is the first time in 25 years that you have literally seen this person in person. I want you to greet your new friend like this is the first time you've seen them in 25 years. Go. All right, if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you're happy now and you know it, clap 3 times. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. All right, now the tough part is getting you to shut up. All right. What happened in the room? Raise your hand, raise your hand. We got too many in here, and I have an Achilles heel. How many of you have an Achilles heel? Like a weakness. Anybody here have a weakness? No? Just 3 of us? Good. Appreciate your honesty. We're going to get along great. It'll be great. It'll be just like Facebook, right? Where I never see your flaws. It's okay. But here's the thing. How many of you have an Achilles heel? I have an Achilles heel. I'm almost deaf. I wear hearing aids in both ears. One for me, one for my wife. That's another. For those of you married, you know what I'm talking about right there. Turn that puppy down. So here's the thing, right? Not that I do that, because we're all recording. So when I ask for participation, one thing you're going to have to do is raise your hand, right? Listen, 4,500 people. I had the Pearl Theater where I spoke with Tony Robbins up. That was awesome. It was impossible to hear anybody. I couldn't even see him because 3 bright lights in my face. In fact, I saw 3 circles for like 3 days. Even when I was sleeping, I literally laid there. I thought there was a 3-eyed alien staring me down. It was the weirdest thing ever. But here's the thing. This is pretty cozy. This is pretty tight. Take advantage of today. When I am looking for engagement and feedback. I can see all of you, right? And some of you are already on your phone. Oblivious to everyone. I'm just saying that it could happen. It could happen to one of you, maybe all of you. But here's the thing, is raise your hand and speak loudly when I ask for participation. Does that sound good? Right? All right, so what changed in the room? What happened in this room? Yes. The energy went up. Perfect answer. Did the energy go up? 100% the energy went up. Why? Why? Raise your hand and say excited. That'll work. Yeah. Yeah. We were excited. So what made us excited? Yes. Engagement. What made us more engaged? Positivity. There was a positive, yeah. Money in the first case, right? Yes. Appreciation went up through the roof. Absolutely. We appreciated the other. So where does appreciation and excitement and engagement, where does it originate? Yes. In connection. Where does that even originate? Yes. Where does that even relate? Where does that start? Communication. Where does that, we're tracing the root of it, right? Yes. In the heart, right? Maybe, right. But I think it starts somewhere else before it gets to the heart, believe it or not. Yes. What did we have to change to change the energy in this room? Yes. Mindset. We had to change our mindset to change the energy. Now, how many of you have ever heard of Einstein? Right? You've heard of Einstein, right? He had this equation. What is it? E equals mc squared, yes? And that is for physical properties. I believe that we are a spiritual entity going through a physical process. Now, whatever you believe, that's awesome. But here's the thing. I believe he nailed E equals mc squared for physical properties. I have a theory for spiritual properties and spiritual entities. It's E equals mc squared. Now, I'm no Einstein. You're going to find that out throughout this process. Trust me on that. But E equals mc squared is energy equals mindset changed at the speed of light squared. Energy is mindset. How long did it take to change your mind? Nanoseconds. You changed it on a dime. Now, out in the real world alone, it is a little harder to change our mindset so quickly. But just remember this exercise when maybe it's a negative. What we have to do is live life with appreciation. And here's the thing. Appreciation is love in reaction. Things happen to us for us. I really believe that. They happen for us. Even the bad. How many of you have had a really bad thing happen to you, but it actually turned into a really good thing? Yeah, I'm a high school football coach. To this day, I coach high school football. 7A in Georgia is basically small college football, right? When I was in Kansas, I was coaching, and my dad was a teacher and a coach, and I really, really believed that I was going to be a head football coach. And a school that I student taught at and coached at, I was told we were going to win 1 or 2 games. We ended up going 8-2. I did really good. Their varsity was looking for a coach. I was a shoo-in. I had the greatest head coach folder ever. I was so prepared. I turned it in. I knocked the interview out. It was awesome. They called my athletic director of the school I was at, where I was currently coaching, and he stabbed me in the back. He said a bunch of bad things about me, and they didn't hire me. I was devastated. I was crushed. And I will tell you, I made plans to no longer teach at that school starting May. I was crushed, but you know what? That next summer, I got into real estate because I was looking for a summer job, and I just bought my first home. And then in real estate, I discovered a whole new world. I would not be in front of you today if I would not have not gotten that job. If I would have gotten it, I would have been doing something else. And there's nowhere in the world I'd rather be than right here today. And that's the truth. Yeah. So, We need to appreciate the bad things. We need to appreciate the good things. It's easy to appreciate the good things, right? We count our blessings, we do our gratitudes, we write our appreciations. How about we appreciate the shit too? Right? Because it's really who made us. Have you guys seen that on Facebook where they have the 2 doors on there and they say, you can write every mistake you've ever made in your life or we'll give you $10 million right now. That was the easiest decision I've ever, red pill, blue pill, that's a tough one. This one, easy. I'm taking the $10 million. You know why? All those mistakes made me what I am today, and I learned so much from those mistakes, right? Even if her name was, no, I'm kidding. But here's the thing. E equals MC squared is your equation for the rest of your life. You can change your energy by changing your mindset very, very quickly. Here's the other thing. What else? What did you notice about, when did you hug and get most excited? Was it the first one when it was like they're giving you a folder and you're going to collect $1 million, basically $30,000 at closing, right? Or was it the 25-year anniversary? Like which one? Both of them, right? Okay. So here's the thing. Who in the world, I want you to tell me what type of person hands you a contract for $1 million. Hey, I want you to hear to this point. I want you to hear this. Who in the world hands you a contract for $1 million and says, just take care of my friends, answer their questions, and show up at closing, and I want no referral fee? What kind of person is that? Raise your hand and give me some character. Yeah. Truly cares, right? What else? Yes. Selfless. What else? Trusting. Trusting. Yes. Maybe building a relationship or in relationship already with you.
Someone who doesn't need that money.
Someone who doesn't need that money. Yes. A giver. I'm about to make a point that's going to change your life. You guys have more characteristics of that person, right? Generous, appreciative, trusting, loving, right? Here's the thing. Every single unlicensed person who's ever giving you a referral is that person. Every single unlicensed person, because we can't pay them referral fees. Your friend who gave you their sister and said, take care of my friend, show up at closing, answer their questions, I don't want a dime, that's that person. So every unlicensed ambassador for you is giving. How would you treat that person? How should you treat that person? How would you treat a giver who doesn't necessarily ask about the money, who just wants you to take care of their friends and answer their questions and show up? How should we treat them? Like gold, yeah? How are we treating them? That may be a question for you to consider. Here's the other thing. This is the last point I really have on this particular exercise. How you greet people matters. How you greet people determines whether you get referrals from them ever. How you greet people. How do you greet people? Is it you're so damn busy and it's a blur as you walk by? Or is it a stop and I've got the time and it's good and it's warm and it's nurturing? How do you greet people? So here's what happens when people see me speak. Within the next 60 days, you're going to meet the greatest referral source of your life. You're going to meet the ambassador of a lifetime. They're going to change your life. In the next 60 days, listen, you will not believe how many private messages and emails and text messages I get that this actually happens. In the next 60 days, you're going to meet the referral of a lifetime. But what's the problem? What's the problem?
You got to be aware.
We got to be aware because why? We don't know who it is. We don't know who it is. So how are you going to greet everyone for the next 60 days?
Heat-seeking missiles.
We are going to greet everyone for the next 60 days like they could be the greatest referral source of our life. Everyone. Kids. Competitors. Friends. Even the black sheep of the family. The $60,000 condo. Do they sometimes not get the $6 million condo treatment? I will tell you, one of the greatest referral sources I ever had was a $60,000 home in Kansas City. $60,000. Millions of business from that one couple, Spencer and April. So let's treat everyone from now on like they could be. And you know what people do? You know what people do? They rise or fall to our expectations. If we think someone's a waste of time, you know what they become? A waste of time. If we think someone could be the referral source of a lifetime, what do they often become? A great referral source. Perhaps you've heard that trite statement, I'm never too busy for your referrals. It's so easy to say, isn't it? But what if we start showing that we're never too busy for their referrals? What if we start showing it instead of saying it? Well done is always better than well said, unless we're talking about a steak. My wife likes well done. Anybody else like kill the heck out of it? I mean, like, what do you have left? Like, that's why they made Cutco knives, were for the well done people. Right? I cut mine with a fork. You know what I'm saying? Like, still mooing and stuff. So here's the thing. The first thing we have, don't get close to the mics. I just learned that lesson. See, I appreciate that I got that lesson right there without it blowing my eardrums out. The first thing you have to do is you have to change your mindset about referrals. But you don't have to change it. I'm not here to change your mindset 180 degrees, right? How many times you go see somebody speak, right? And they talk about it. And you're like, I love that idea. And then you go see another speaker 30 days later, and you're like, I love that idea, right? And then 30 days later, I love that idea. And then you go to this 8-week-long course, and you're like, I love that idea, and that idea, and that idea, and that idea. Yeah? What are we doing? We're just turning in circles. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. Success is not a 180-degree turn. You don't have to do any massive action. Success is a 1-degree tweak. I am here today to give you a series of very small changes that you can make to get big, big results. That's why I'm here today. How many of you are up for that today? You up for that today? All right. Now, if you have your phone, this is a good time to use it. That is a QR code on the screen. When it opens, I'm inviting you to join my tribe of trust. My tribe of trust is called the Generosity Generation. If you've read 7L, you have many examples of the Generosity Generation. So you can do that now. The Generosity Generation was actually founded in this book in some ways. Sir, you want to, where do you go? You want to come up real quick? Let me get you a book. Oh, look at that.
Doesn't work.
Well, we'll get that figured out. Oh, by the way, you can also go to joingengen.com. Later on, just write it down. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. So, joingengen.com. joingengen.com. There you go. All right. Referrals podcast. How many of you listen to podcasts? Yeah? I encourage you to listen to Referrals podcast. It's not named the Michael J. Maher Show. This is Referrals podcast. It's real people, real stories, real referrals. The first thing is, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, and subscribe to it. Listen to it. Every single episode's less than an hour. You can walk, you can ride the bike, you can do other things and listen to it while you're listening to it, and it's Referrals podcast. So you're going to learn more about referrals every time. Here's the other thing. I want to interview you. I want to interview you. It's real people, real stories, real referrals. So here's the thing. Here's how you get on the show. You listen to me today, you take notes, and then you implement. After you implement, then you tell me how it went. It might be a colossal failure. It's okay. Very rarely is it a colossal failure. But the only way to get on Referrals podcast, by the way, no celebrity, we don't have Oprah on there, right? We don't have Tony Robbins on there. That's not who we want on there. We want real people with real stories getting real referrals. So here's the thing. We want you. We want to tell your story. Here's the other thing. People who have been on Referrals podcast have gotten what? Right, Weimer? Right? And by the way, Emily, when the enter the win forms are there, and it says, I want to be a guest on the podcast, will you circle that, please? Thank you. I circled it for you. It's on your sheet. But here's the thing. We want you. How many of you would like to be on the podcast, tell your story, talk about how you got referrals, and let's go, right? And isn't that a great thing to have in a community? I have a forum to put a spotlight on implementers, on people who are doing. And here's what I will tell you. Many people are going to tell you how tough it is out there. They're going to tell you how the market supposedly is. I'm telling you right now, within the generosity generation, we're crushing it. We're absolutely, we had a record first quarter. ReferCo has been around for 12 years. The book has been around 13 years. We had a record quarter in the first quarter and looking at a record quarter in the second quarter, but I'm not excited about that. What I'm excited about is Laura Hansen, who has been in real estate for 25 years and is the #1 agent in her office now, in a large office. Lynn Faselli, #1 in her office. And just so you know, they're doing it all through repeat and referral business. They're working about 30 to 40 hours a week. Here's the thing. What I'm going to share with you today is not BS. It's not bad stuff. That's what BS means, right? That's what my mom told me. But here's the thing. We're going to talk about stuff that's strategic, tactical, and practical. You can do it. And when you do it, you will get results. Try to convince me that love, generosity, and appreciation doesn't work. Please, dear God, be the critic here today who stands up and says, no way love, generosity, and appreciation will work. Please. I'm looking for that. This is Referrals Reloaded. I'm in Matrix, baby, and I'm stopping the bullets. I want the bullets. Bring on the bullets. Challenge this today. I have time for questions at the end. We'll conquer it. All right. Make sure you enter to win. We have door prize entry forms. We'll go ahead. One of the things we're going to give away is a Yeti cooler because summer's coming up. This is not your typical Yeti cooler. This is like a mama Yeti cooler. It's not the big white one, which, by the way, I have and I don't like it. It's too big. This one handles, holds a 12-pack, right? All solid. Of water, of course, you know what
Michael, can I plug something on before your next slide real fast?
Do what?
Can I plug one thing before your
Yes.
next slide? Take 30 seconds. Hey, there are already 70 people signed up for next month's masterclass, or 65. The first 75 tickets or so are free. I'm going to change that to 100 shortly, but that should sell out if all of you pull your phones out. And you just go to MasterclassCFL.com.
Nice.
You should be able to grab a free ticket. It works now. I just figured I'd say that so that the rest of y'all can get your spot, and you're not mad at me that you didn't get a spot. Sorry, keep going.
Good. So what was the address again?
MasterclassCFL.com. I also switched Masterclass Orlando if you screw it up.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks, Michael.
By the way, Christina, do we want to give away something at the end too? You're so generous. Way to put her on the spot, Michael. So we're going to also give, is it a spreader? It's a trimmer. Let's go. Yeah, so we're going to give away a trimmer, Yeti cooler, and maybe another bundle, another package of some goodies. That sound good? Right? How many of you want to win? Must be present to win, just like life, right? All right. So I have a quick question for you. It's going to sound a little bit weird, but I want you to play along with me, all right? Out of the following 4 options, I'm going to give all of you 4 options. You're only going to choose one. Out of the following 4 options, how would your best friend, spouse, or significant other best describe you? Would they describe you as 1, straight to the point, 2, social and outgoing, 3, steady and dependable, or are you a 4, cautious and perfectly accurate? Does anybody need me to repeat the options? I'll just put them on the screen. How about? Boom. All right. So 1, straight to the point. 2, social and outgoing. 3, steady and dependable. 4, cautious and perfectly accurate. How many of you are 1s? Put your number 1 in the air and down. 2s, who are you? Hold second. Put your peace sign in the air, swirl it like this, and go, woohoo! And realize you're the only ones in the room that would actually do that. Who are my 3s? Who are my 3s? Put your 3s up. God love you. I'm married to 3. Thank you. Welcome to the family. So glad you're here. Who are my 4s? Who are my 4s? Any 4s? Right? Never any 4s, right? Never any 4s. It's okay. So, 1s, listen to me real quick. 1s, put your 1 in the air. 1s, I'm going to go really quickly. I have 4 hours of content to get done in 2.5 hours. I just want you to know I'm going to go. Occasionally, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to repeat something or make a point. And I know 1s, you're thinking, how nice of him to do that for the 2s, 3s, and 4s. And I'm not doing it for the 2s, 3s, and 4s. I'm doing it for the 1s. 1s, understand? Sometimes you need to stop and reflect. Sometimes you need to just stop because you're running over people. Stop and smell the roses. 2s, who are my 2s? Let's go. Come on, put them in the air. Woo-hoo! You can do better than that. 2s, we're going to have so much fun today. It's going to be awesome. You've already hugged someone. It's a freaking successful day, right? You're already out socializing. You're networking. Here's the thing that I'm going to help you with. I'm going to help you make it all work. You're trying to make it all work. You're all over the damn place. Let's get you systematized a little. Not systematized. Let's just call it like fun together. Right? Right? You're going to have fun doing things together. That sound good? Right? 2s, I'm going to show you how to have fun. Here's what I'm going to do. You're already damn impressive. Today, I'm going to show you how to be even more impressive. Are you up for that? Right? Impressive equals referrals is what you think. So here's the thing. 3s. Who are my 3s? Welcome. I love you. Today, you're going to find that you've always been right. Quietly. And that you've been right, and then it's all about building relationships. And you know what you understand better than most here is the best relationships are developed one-to-one. You would rather be in a small group. You would rather be with your family. And what if I told you that you can make more of your clientele more like your family? Here's the other flip side, 3s. We're going to get you freaking paid. How about that? Mr. and Mrs. Unpaid Taxi Driver, Tourist Guide of Orlando. Wouldn't it be great if you got paid for what you're doing? We're going to show you how to close gently. In many cases, you won't have to do it at all. What we're going to do is they're going to close themselves. Would that be great? So we're going to talk about today. 4s, we don't have anything for you, so don't worry about it. You're not in here. So good stuff. The CPA even left. It's like, forget that. It's all good. All right. So, freeze real quick. What did I just do? Raise your hand. What did I just do? Yes. Identified who's in the crowd, right? What else? Affirmed. What? Affirmed what?
Personality traits.
Personality traits or behavior styles, yes? Right? So I just gave you a DISC test. Just so you know, you all passed with flying colors. You win. You identified yourself. That's what a DISC test does, right? But here's the thing. If you're a 1, you're a D, right? You're straight to the point. You want things now. You go fast. The most important thing to you is time. 2s, right? 2s, you're an I. You're social and outgoing. You're a social butterfly, typically somewhat disorganized. But here's the thing, is that you tend to be the life of the party. You're fun, you're friendly, you're attractive, you're awesome, and you're also still disorganized. But here's the thing, is 3s. 3s, right? Steady and dependable. We can count on you, right? You're steady. You're dependable. You're slow as F. I'm just telling you. I'm just kidding. Like, you just do things like slower than everybody else. And it's a great reminder to all of us that maybe they have it right in today's world. I'm just saying. 4s, please notice it is cautious and perfectly accurate, which the acronym for that would be what? CPA. So CPAs, engineers. But let me tell you something. I have a coaching client that just lost a $900,000 listing to a competitor that was also a friend. Brenda, I changed her name, not really, but that's how I remember things. So she was at a listing appointment, and she is a high D driver, baby. I mean, she's in there. Her appointment was 32 minutes long, right? Now, the clients came back and said, hey, listen, we decided to go another direction. We really appreciate you and love you, both being engineers. We've decided to go with Jill, which, once again, that's not her real name. It is actually her real name, but I'm just saying, let's fake like it's not her real name. But you know what I know about Jill? She's an S with an I with a C kicker. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what behavioral style you are. What matters? The behavioral style they are. So if it's 2 engineers, are you going in with the full shock and awe? No, you're going in with details. You're going to show average days on market. You're going to show dollar per square foot. Do you guys know how to, you may not even use it in your calculation of the price, but you know how to calculate dollar per square foot, right? Here's the thing, if you don't, choose. I'm with you, it's okay. But here's the thing, I'm just kidding. I'm going to give everybody a hard time, it's all good. But here's the thing, find someone who does. Find someone who can calculate that. Find somebody who can do that for you. The who is not you in many of these cases. But the thing is, am I going to lose that listing appointment? Am I going to lose it? No, because I what? I know my audience. I know what they are. And guess what gave me that? Before I even go to the listing, I have a smooth selling questionnaire with a list of questions for the potential seller. The number 1 question after their name and address and neighborhood is the magic question. I literally want to know, when I know their behavioral style, I know how to communicate with them forever. It doesn't change. It changes sometimes in an adaptive situation, but their normative, natural, never changes. So when they say, I'm cautious and perfectly accurate, with a spouse that's cautious and perfectly accurate, it's a numbers game, baby. That's the only time you're going to hear that out of my mouth. That's when it's actually a numbers game. You're going to go into details and show average and show competition and speak to them like an engineer who has a system and structure. They want to know what step 1, step 2, step 3. Brenda went in there with like, step 2, wine. I'm just telling you. And that works sometimes, doesn't it? I've done it. I know there are 2 2s. I'm going in there, let's go, right? Let's go. Oh my God, look at this back deck. Let's meet out here, right? You mind if I invite my team over for this appointment? We'll just stay 3 or 4 hours. Is that good? Right? The magic question is a difference maker. And here's the thing, the ones are like, when's he going to get to the content? When's he going to start teaching? You're missing it. All you need to know is all I've already talked. We could stop right here. I'm willing to stop I've already been paid for this event. Do you guys want to stop right now? I'm serious. We can stop. If I stopped right now, you would win more often. You want to stop?
No.
Why?
I think there's more information you have.
Do you need more information?
Yes.
So that's a good answer. I want to keep speaking anyway. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Repeat after me. I already know. No, I say it, and then you literally say the same words. Repeat after me. I already know. what to do. Now I just need to do it. Why are you looking at your clock? You didn't get any more steps in there. I'm just telling you. Your heart rate might have gone up just slightly, but I get it. All right, we're going to keep going anyway. All right, generosity, very quickly, just to tell you where I'm coming from. It's based on 3 values: love, generosity, and appreciation. Okay? So, love in action. Love is powerful. Would you agree? If you don't love it, you're probably not going to do it. Like prospecting. If you don't love the kind of cold calling, let's do it, you know. So it's like, let's annoy people and be really intrusive. So here's the thing. We're not going to do it if we don't love it. And here's what we're really not going to do. We're not going to master it. And I'm telling you right now, you need embrace mastery. Master something. If it is cold calling, master it. If it's expired, master it. If it's physical. You know what I want to master? I want to master the person across from me when I meet them. I want to become not an expert in the marketplace. I'm not an expert in the Kansas City marketplace. I live in Georgia. I am by no means an expert in the marketplace. I'm not. I have people that do that. You know what I'm an expert in? When I meet someone, I know more about them when I'm done than their freaking spouses. And that's a true story. I know about divorces before they happen. And that's a true story. I know stuff about you. Mm-hmm. Embrace mastery. My license plate in Kansas City is mastery. That's what's on the back of my car. My word for life is mastery. I truly believe you want to be successful, master something. If you're mediocre at everything, you'll never get paid well. You'll struggle to make ends meet. Master something. On Referrals podcast, I just had a lady who has mastered 30-day stays, 30-day rentals. Like not short-term, not long-term, mid-term rentals. She's making millions, and she has the greatest system. She rents for 30 days in our city, and then by the time they're done, they're ready to buy. When they write the agreement up to rent, there's a buyer's agreement that they're going to work with her team. Smart. And I think mastery has the word smart in it. I'm not sure. But I think it does it? S-M-A-R. I just made that up. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Appreciation. Oh, so we got generosity. Generosity is love in action. This is your daily plan. Go out in the spirit of generosity. Every day you're going to see how much you can give. I'm not talking about money. By the way, how about $113,000, $14,000 given? By the way, you gave $2,500 today to charity, huh? Is that hot? Over $100,000 in charity. He's running the referral mastery system. He's running it to the T. Now, love in action, generosity is what you do and you have control over, right? You can go and act in generosity. Here's the thing. Life is going to happen to us. Would you agree? Sometimes people will reciprocate with referrals. Will that happen? How should we act? We should act in appreciation. Appreciation is love in reaction to everything, even the tough. We need to appreciate because it makes us better. So love, generosity, and appreciation. If that resonates with you, then being a part of our tribe will probably be a good thing for you. Now, we have 3 hashtags or 3 principles. It's give first, it's give thanks, and it's give back. And you're going to see those hashtags all over Facebook, all over Instagram, and so on and so forth. Now, we have 3 meetings with the generosity. You're going to hear 3 different meetings. Number 1 is it's a consumer trend. It used to be we're number 1 or we're the biggest, we're the baddest, right? It used to be we're number 1. We're number 1 in quality, right? We're number 1 tough. We're number 1. We've won the J.D. Powers, all the awards. And today the consumers go, I don't give 2 Fs about your J.D. Power. I'm sorry, J.D. Powers, but and by the way, you know you can buy that. You can buy awards. Did you know that? That's how I got all mine. I'm telling you, welcome to real estate, yeah. But here's the thing, right? The other, and just so you know, it used to be the ego era. Allaboutme.com. How many of you have been in business for over 10 years? So you know what I'm talking about. The websites were allaboutme.com. It was, I'm number one, we're number one. Everything was I'm number one. And by the way, there were 6,580 number one agents in Kansas City when I started. I'm not even joking. That was a thing. The consumer changed. They forced us to change. We're in the generosity generation now. We're no longer in the ego era, right? It's just like this other thing. We were in the industrial age, remember that? And then we went into the informational age, and some people think we're still in the informational age. We're not. We're in the influential era. We're in the influential area, and it's easier than ever to become influential. You know people that have a reel or an Instagram or who were nobodies, and then they became somebodies. And a book or a song or $1 million came their way. Some of you are still hoping that happens to you. But influence is bigger than that. So the generosity generation is my tribe of trust, what I call my tribe of trust. Also, we don't call it lead generation in the generosity generation. We call the morning calls, we call it generosity generation. We're going to call in the spirit of generosity instead of calling for leads or calling leads. When you change your mindset, what happens is people respond better to you. If we were calling in the spirit of generosity, we're calling to what? See if we can what? Help. We're calling to see if we can help. And by the way, you're going to get paid by helping people. Would you agree? You get paid to help people. The more buyers, sellers, and investors you help, the more you get paid. You understand that, right? Right? So we're going to do generosity generation instead of lead generation. By the way, we have a thing called the Referral Mastery System. We have 3 key pillars, and this is what I'm going to really focus on today. We have the one-to-none, we have the one-to-one, and we have the one-to-many. That pretty much covers everything. Would you agree? So one-to-none. Oh, by the way, one-to-none is self-mastery. One-to-one is relationship mastery. And one-to-many is event mastery. All 3 lead to referral mastery. And I truly believe life mastery. So let's jump into self-mastery. Connect deeply with yourself. FLY is the acronym we use, which is first love yourself. What we've discovered is it's really hard to love on others when you don't love yourself, right? You've heard hurting people hurt people. What we know is loving people love people. And the first thing you need to do is forgive your shit. Forgive your past. We all have bad stuff in the past. We all. I don't want to hear it right now. I just want you to know that we all have bad stuff. We all made mistakes. We've all done it. Nobody here is perfect. Maybe one of you. You think. But here's the thing, is how's your relationship with yourself? Are you healthy, wealthy, and happy? Right? And then, what's your growth plan look like? How many of you work out on a regular basis? How many of you need to work out on a regular basis? Yeah. So jot that down. I'm telling you right now, Tony Robbins, when he coaches you, and we imply the same strategy with my coaching, first thing we do is help them get in the best physical fitness of their life. We implement a health plan right off the bat, because here's the thing. You know, you're going to make all that money so that you can pay it in health care later. Unless you take care of yourself along the way. This is the vehicle. You can buy and sell new cars. You can't buy or sell new bodies. For the most part, I've seen some of you look good. Good stuff. It's all good. Good investment for the most part. But overall, we need to work out. Right? All right. So, relationship mastery is we need to connect deeply with others, one-to-one. And we need to, how well you build relationships one-to-one. These include things like your buyer's consultation, listing presentation. But it also includes conversations on the phone, conversations one-to-one, conversations at events that are one-to-one. Could you maybe use some great scripts today to get referrals in conversations? We're going to cover those. Do you have a communication plan? Event mastery, right? Connect others and connect with others. Here's what you need to know. The old ego era, there was an ABC. How many of you saw Glenn Ross? He pounds the board and he goes, A, always. B, C, closing. And coffee is for closers, right? You remember that part, right? Old news. Try closing someone today. They'll be on Facebook so fast telling their 5,000 friends that you tried to intimidate them and dominate them and how you had toxic positivity and toxic masculinity, even though you're a woman. It's like these terms are thrown out, right? But here's the thing, is there's a new ABC in town. And it's the generosity generation. The new ABC is A, always, B, C, connecting. Always be connecting. Connect with yourself. Connect one-to-one deeply. And connect others and connect with others. One of the strongest gifts of generosity you can give is to connect the people in your tribe to each other. And how much does it cost you? It costs you nothing, and yet that is one of your superpowers that you're not using enough. Do you have the YAPS, which I'm going to cover today, which is a yearly appreciation plan and a yearly ambassador program? The yearly appreciation plan is for everyone you know. The yearly ambassador program is for who? Your top people, right? Your top people. All right. So first we're going to dive into self-mastery. And I'm going to go pretty quick on this. You have questions, you have notes you want to take, you just stop and let me know. Sound good? All right, self-mastery. First, love yourself. So we talk about self-mastery and we talk about how mindset matters, and we talk about rituals and habits during this process. We talk about the 3 C's of referability. You might want to jot this down. The 3 C's of referability. Number 1 is character. If you're not honest, if you're not of integrity, you're going to win 2 and lose 10. You're going to win the 2 that you lied about, but you're going to lose the back end, and that might be more than 8 to 10. So and I'm telling you, if the money wasn't involved, what would your advice be? Do you have a vested interest in the advice? If so, just step out. You know what? I'm not sure if I'm the one you should ask for advice because I have vested interest here. Who is someone else that we could ask? And just so you know, when you say something like that, it frees your buyers and sellers to say the same thing. The second C is competence. Competence. Are you good at what you do? Do you know how to fill out the contract? And it changes every year. Do you know what every paragraph means? Do you really? Do you? Here's the other thing about competence. Being proactive and warning them about what's coming, like warning them at your buyer's consultation not to buy a car during the process. You should warn them not to buy a car or buy furniture or buy anything on credit, as long as they're getting a mortgage through Dustin, right? Attaboy. So the second one is competence. Be competent. Be really good at real estate. Be good at negotiations. What if I told you that when you're in the middle of negotiations, it's better to always let the call go to voicemail? What if I told you that? It's always, you know what most agents will do? They will ramble and squeak, and they will give you all you need to know about their seller's position or their buyer's position, just by their voice. But maybe, and sort of, maybe we could have the refrigerator too, and maybe, you know, and you could include the washer and dryer, and, I mean, we're thinking, maybe, you know, inspections, we're thinking about them, not doing them. I mean, I don't know. I hate talking to these voicemail things and greetings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's just put it together, tell us what you want. My seller will do anything you want. Can I give you a negotiation strategy? Put all the appliances in, especially if you don't want them. Put them all in. Whose are they now? Whose are they? They're the sellers. Put them all in. And then give them back during negotiations. What did you just give back? Their own freaking stuff. Put it all in there, and you're like, oh, don't put stuff that's not tied down in there. Right? No, everything. Car, put it in there. Dog, everything. Then give them their dog back. I'm kind of kidding, but I'm not. I'm just letting you know, when I write up offers, it's got everything in there. And then I just take it off. The third C is a big one, and it's the number one complaint at NAR. The biggest complaint is not our integrity. It's not our character, people. And it's not our competence. Negligence is not the number one complaint. The number one complaint at NAR is communication, or lack the freaking of. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is. How can lack of communication be our biggest Achilles heel in the end? How can that be? What if I told you you can win the referral game simply by being the best communicator? I'd like to believe that. Yeah. All right. So success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Either you run the day or the day runs you. I'm telling you, the ones that are successful in this business have a daily plan. They don't wake up and go, I wonder what I'm going to do today. Or roll over, check Facebook, check their email with the silent prayer to themselves, please tell me some good news today. Please, nothing bad. You know who you are. And here's the thing. I'm not saying you got to time block every hour on the hour. I'm just telling you got to time block at least one freaking hour. At least one. So what should we do if we want to do that? I talk about the 4 enriching rituals. I'm going to enrich your life. I'm going to help you. So I'm going to ask you to choose a ritual out of the 4 and then just freaking do it, right? Just do it. Just do part of it. Here's the thing. I'm going to give you a bunch of letters. Just pick a letter, right? And you don't even have to buy it. Like in, what was that game? Wheel of Fortune? I'll buy a vowel, right? You don't even have to buy it. I'm going to give it to you. But I want you to pick one letter and implement it, right? Success is simple. That's what we're finding. I interviewed 1,000 of our coaching clients, and I said 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 1, you're over the top busy. 2, busy. 3, or 2 was solid busy. 3 was medium busy, doing good, steady. 4 was like busy but not worried. I'm sorry, not busy but not worried. And 5 was busy, not busy, and worried. You got the 5? Most of our people were 1, 2s, and 3s. 500 out of the 1,000 were 1, 2s, and 3s. So I asked them, what are you doing well? Isn't that a great question for the people? And here's the thing. It was what they were doing daily that was working. They said, I do this daily. Find something that you love that you can do daily that will increase your business. Sounds smart, right? No, it's simple. That's what I found. It's just simple. It's not necessarily easy, but it's simple. So why do we screw up when we hear great ideas? Why don't we just implement everything? Here's why. So somebody learned about the morning ritual, and they typically get up at 8:30. Well, what do people that learn about the morning ritual a lot of times jump and do? They hear about the blank AM club, right? The 5 a.m. club. So that person who's been getting up at 8:30 decides to jump into the 5 a.m. club, and they start waking up at 5 a.m. What happens in about 3 to 4 days? They collapse and sleep till noon and have the shittiest day of their life. That's what happens, because it's like a bubble. Your comfort zone is like a bubble. I want you to just imagine, we all have, I have a comfort zone. We all have a comfort zone. What happens on a bubble if you blow too hard? It bursts, and you got to start over. But how do we make the bubble a little bit bigger? Barely blow a slight tweak. We barely blow to change our comfort zone. So guess what? The person that was getting up at 8:30 for a week, we suggested she get up at 8:15 for a week, 8:15. We then suggested she get up at 8 the next week. The next week, we suggested she get up at 7:45. And the next week, we suggested she get up at 7:30. And she was getting up at 7:30, and was she having any problem at all? No problem at all. She now gets up at 6 a.m. That's what she chose. Here's the thing. I want you to know, the morning ritual is not about getting up earlier. It's not. The morning ritual is about getting up better. Get up better every day. But why do we fail so often when our intentions are so good? It's because we break off too much to chew. It's because we blow the bubble too hard. So what I'm asking you to do, figure out what your 1, 2, or 3 tweaks will be. Got it? All right. So this is Ben Franklin's daily agenda. Don't worry about it right now. He had several rituals that he did, and we're going to talk about the 4 enriching rituals very quickly. So the 4 enriching rituals. I'm going to talk about the Sunday evening ritual, which is my number 1 ritual. Number 2 is the night ritual. Number 3 will be the pre-leave ritual, which for some of you will be new. And then number 4 is the morning ritual. And I'll end with that one. Now, the Sunday evening ritual. What is interesting about Sunday evenings for people in general? What's different on Sunday evening than maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, other evenings? More relaxed. Why are we more relaxed? I know, because it's Sunday, but what do we not have a lot of times? Any pressure from the consumer. And just so you know, if you're realtors, how many of you are realtors? Great, 8 of you that are honest still, good. But here's the thing. I'm going to give you some advice that's not in the PowerPoint. Vacations. Vacations. If you're really busy right now, go on vacation. If you're not busy at all right now, go on vacation. I'm just telling you. And the farther you are away, the busier it will get here. All your friends will call, I need to see a house. But here's the thing. For going on vacations, go the week of July 4th. Go the week of July 4th. So if July 4th is a Tuesday, go from Saturday to Sunday. Go somewhere. Just go on vacation. Here's the other thing. The last 2 weeks of the year, your schools are mostly out. The last week of the year and the first week of the new year, no pressure from consumers. Those are your 3 vacation weeks to just start with. Just start with. That's what we tell all of our coaching clients, and they're all going on vacation the 4th of July week. They're going on vacation the last week of the year, right after Christmas. Nobody's even talking to anybody. And then the first week of the new year. 3 great times. And by the way, great time to go to the Caribbean. Anytime during that time, during the winter, right? So you're in Florida, you don't give a crap about the Caribbean. What am I even freaking talking about? You're in the freaking Caribbean. I mean, really, if you circle it big, you hit Florida. I'm just telling you. So Sunday ritual is sweet. We have a class in Referral Mastery Academy called Sweet Dreams, where literally for a month, I help you implement this. Me personally, me and Polly and Tara, we help you implement this strategy, okay? So here's what the Sweet Dreams, the sweet is. This is the Sunday evening ritual. It makes it really easy to remember a nightly ritual and an evening ritual if we call it Sweet Dreams. Would you agree? Right? So Sunday evening, you're going to look at your schedule, right? You're going to look at your schedule for the week ahead. Isn't that a great idea anyway? We're going to look at the schedule. And we're going to fill in some gaps. We're going to tweak it. We're going to look at it. We're going to, instead of being reactive, we're going to be proactive with our schedule. And it's like, oh, you know what? I don't have very many consultations this week, buyer or listing. So guess what? It's a great week to have one-to-ones with networking partners. It's a great week to have like past referral sources or influential people or successful people. Have lunches with them. Have breakfast with them. Just have one-to-ones with them. Meet with them. That's how Aaron Luden built this big enterprise of real producers. He is a one-to-one fiend. He's always meeting people one-to-one. So we're going to look at the schedule. I mean, I can tell you, looking at the schedule, I have a son who plays 3 sports year-round, and it's like we have to look at the schedule to figure out where we're going, who's going to do what, how we're going to make it work, and we're also going to look at what's missing. Where is it missing? We also look at something that you guys need is drive time. Sometimes we can screw up a whole day because of drive time. Twos, are you hearing me? In the freaking app, it says travel time, and you can actually put that on and say where you're going from and where you're going to, and it puts it in your schedule. Just saved a life here today, I feel it. Number 2, weather. Yes, we're going to look at the weather. The only people that don't look at the weather are San Diego and Hawaii. Even here, you need to look at the weather. She said hurricane season. Every time I hear the word hurricane, I shudder. I'll tell you that story later. But here's the thing. Look at the weather for the week, because it's going to affect maybe what you wear. Would you agree? How many of you choose what you wear by weather? A little bit, right? How many of you have a uniform that you literally wear every day? A uniform. I wear this every day. Not these exact clothes, but this look every day. Don't I? Every day. Every day I wear a uniform. What? Now, that doesn't mean you wear the same clothes. Here's the other thing. I'm going to work out later today. Today is chest and arm day. Let's freaking go. That's just, I'm telling you, it's like Christmas every week. But here's the thing. I brought my workout outfit for this particular workout. You can imagine a shirt a little tighter. You can imagine the sleeves a little tighter, right? No, I mean, even before the workout, they're tighter. They're really tight after the workout. You guys need to relax, dude. Seriously. It's okay. All right? But here's the thing. I have an outfit that I wear to do chest and arms, right? It looks better in the mirror. What can I say? It fits better. It's cotton. You know, there's things. But it's like, I want you to think about things like that. What is the best thing I could wear to this thing? And I'm telling you, I wear a black undershirt every day. I wear black every day. Black matches almost anything. It even matches the other blacks. Weather. We're going to look at the schedule. We're going to look at the weather. Then, the next thing we're going to do is look at what we're going to eat for the week. Instead of like hitting Chick-fil-A on Sunday and realizing they're freaking closed again when you craved them. Here's the thing. We're going to actually plan out what we're going to eat for the week. Do you think if you had it planned out? Now, here's the thing. That doesn't mean you eat at home. That doesn't necessarily mean you put it all in Tupperware, though we do. But here's the thing. If you know you're going to eat out for lunch, then maybe you do a salad for dinner. Here, I'm telling you, the one thing that is most determinant of your success is what you eat. That's it. You're wondering why your energy is low at 3 o'clock or whatever it is. It's because of what you ate. You're wondering why you're not having energy in certain times. It's because you're not eating well. It's eating. Eating is the key. It is. So just try it for a week. How many of you meal plan a week or have an eating plan for the week? Have an eating plan for the week. It's easier than you think. All of this is easier than you think. It's also easy not to freaking do. And just go, I'll spin right through that drive-through again. Right? Next thing is an exercise plan. What is your exercise plan for the week? And listen, this could be a walk a day. This could be elliptical. This could be treadmill. This could also be a 5-day split. Could be a 3-day split, which is what I do. Right? Could be whatever you want it to be. It could be classes, Pilates. Janet Caudell, one of my coaching clients, has gotten into the best shape of her life. She could freaking like win UFC, I think, at this point, if UFC was a Pilates challenge. But here's the thing, is she's loving life even more because she's in such good shape. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're in really bad shape, get started. If you're freaking buff as hell, get started. Let's go. Right? It doesn't matter. You know what? If you're buff as hell and you think it's going to be there in 10 years if you don't, like, maintain it, the answer is it's not. I'm proof of that, baby. Right? It's not that funny. Will you hug her for me? That's what threes will do. They'll hug anybody. I love it. All right. So then the T is tie it all together. Tie it all together. Lay out your outfits for the week. Have your son or daughter lay out their outfits for the week. And I'm going to tell you a quick story on this. My father-in-law passed away. We lost our last grandparent in February. It was awful. It was awful. On Monday, my wife was in Kansas City because he was sick, and then he got really sick. And they're like, he may not make it. So Sherry calls me, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and says, you need to get Max and you need to come here. Now, shit's gone crazy at that point. Would you agree? How much of a benefit was it that we had all of Max's outfits laid out for the week already ready? How hard do you think it was to pack? It took me 5 minutes. By the way, I had 3 hours to get to the Atlanta airport and get on a flight and get my son. So packed in minutes. And I just was thinking, thank God that we had laid out his outfits and I didn't have 5 million other things to think about. Now, I did forget a few things. I did. But overall, it was like a breeze. But like, I hope that never happens to any of you. But how many of you have woken up in the morning and you slept through your alarm and you're like in oh shit mode? Anybody? Right? Other than the twos, I mean. I'm just kidding. But here's the thing. They'll wait and they'll still love me. It's okay. Here's the thing is, what if you had all your outfits laid out for the week? You wouldn't have to think about it. And by the way, they were aligned with your schedule and your weather. And here's the other thing. Do you think you'd work out more often if your workout clothes were ready to go? Here's the other thing you could tie together. You could tie together your meals. You could have your meals in the refrigerator, ready to go, to pop in the microwave, warm up and go. Do you think those ideas would make your life better? Pick a letter. Pick a letter. Which one are you going to do? And maybe you don't choose the one you're already doing, but you could pick the one you're already doing and make it better. There's a lot of ways to tie these things together. Now, this is what my son's banister looks like, right? So what day is it? Can anybody tell me what day it is? Sunday. It's not Sunday. It is Tuesday. Who got it? It is Tuesday, right? He's got his Wednesday outfit, right, hanging out. That's probably his undies. He probably doesn't like me showing that. But bottom line, this is what it looks like. He's ready to go, right? You don't have to use that. I use my closet, and I have little tabs that say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in my closet, right? And by the way, that was a gift I got from a coaching client, and I use it every week. I love them, okay? All right, the nightly ritual. So we have the Sunday night ritual, which sets us up for the week. The nightly ritual is what we do each and every night to wind down. One of the things that we have to do is we have to land our day. And there is a way to land our day, which is the most beneficial, right? And it's not like drinking until you collapse, right? Though that is a plan. It's good to have systems. But how about we have one that's even better? So it's dreams. The acronym is DREAMS. So D is we need a dim time. Studies have shown so much that if you have a common time where you start to shut down and you wake up at the same time every day or close to the same time, that it builds your circadian rhythm, it drives your energy through the roof, and you are healthier. Your body is more functional, you're happier, it drives more wealth. Who doesn't want more health, more wealth, and more happiness, So D, dim time. What time are you going to turn down the lights? When are you going to turn your phone off? For some of you, that might be a great idea, is turn your phone off. And here's the thing. Dim time could be 9. It could be 10. It could be 11. It could be midnight. It could be 1 a.m. It's up to you when your dim time is, but make it the same. In fact, put it in your phone. Did you know that your phone has a shutdown time on it you can set? Have a dim time. And I'm telling you where this is the best is when you have kids. Especially the kids today who are addicted to screens. You know what? I don't worry about my son Max's phone. You know why? It shuts off automatically at 10 o'clock. Boom. No arguments, No ifs and unless. He's right in the middle of a TikTok video. But bottom line is he knows it, he gets it, it's the rule, we go. And it's a rule that he agreed to. That's another thing. How did we come up with our dim time? So I didn't care what our dim time was. So I said, Sherry, what do you want the dim time to be? She's a little bit more of an early riser, early sleeper. So she said 9:30 for dim time, right? Max was like, he said, Max is more of the later kitty, and especially pushing it now that he's a teenager, and he goes 10:30. Well, that was easy for me, right? I go, how about we make our dim time 10 p.m.? And everybody's like nodding their head, and we went with it. And that's why our dim time is 10 p.m. We just got everybody's agreement. Notice that Max agreed to it. So it's really hard to argue with what he agreed to, though he will, because he's a teenager. Nobody else has teenagers in here? Because that's freaking funny, because it's so true. All right. R is for read. Our suggestion at nighttime is to read fiction or read something that will trigger your imagination. Read the Bible if that's the key to you. But read stories. That's why I wrote 7L as a story. 7L is a love story that even a guy could read, just saying. It's like that 50 Shades of Maher. Is that what it was? So it's not like that at all. I'm just telling you. But here's the thing, is it's a love story, and it also has 100 strategies in it, right? So read. It's good to read. And just so you know, some of you, dim time, read, out cold. That's a good nightly ritual. Now, for some of us, and this is me, some of us need to get the stuff out of our head. That's me. I'm a thinker, right? And so E is for evaluate. I need to reflect. I need to journal. I need to celebrate. That's a big one for me too, is really start, what do you tend to think about at night? The problems, the issues, the troubled client, the problem. And when I journal and it forces me, what do I want to celebrate from today? Then I get the opportunity to write. So in fact, right now, somebody tell me something good. What's the highlight of the last week for you? What was something really cool that happened to you, for you this week? In the last week? Yes?
I got a referral.
You did get a referral. Well, congratulations. And isn't it interesting, out of all the great things that happened for you this week, the thing that you mentioned was a referral. That's how great referrals feel. Would you agree? People ask me all the time, over 500, 600 documented referrals a year, for 12 straight years. People ask me, like, did you ever like get a referral and like just kind of ho-hum and take it for, and it's like, I get a buzz at every referral. Like every time I got a referral, why is that? What is that? It's like a little piece of me has just got accepted by the world or something, but there's some buzz to it that getting a referral never loses its buzz. It never fails to kick dopamine in. Yeah.
People forget sometimes giving that referral also makes you feel.
So I do get a buzz by giving, but not quite as great as getting. I'm just telling you. How many referrals have I given? I give a referral or 2 or 8 a day. And that's no joke. There's people in this room that have gotten referrals from me, right? There's people in every room I've ever gone to that get referrals. I referred 2 people out yesterday, right? It's what I do. People ask me all the time. Gen group. Go to the Gen group. There's probably 5 referrals sitting in there right now. And there is some juice to it, right? I do love that this community is full of giving referrals. But I have to tell you, I do like getting referrals more. And remember that when you fill out your enter to win sheet. So what else? Yes?
2 grandchildren graduated in the same day.
2 grandchildren graduated in the same day.
From different schools.
From different schools. That on the same day, though. So that had to be a little conflicting. Which one did you go to?
I went to both, stayed at UCF the whole day, had lunch on campus.
You figured it out. That's awesome, right? Did you think about that the day of? Did you literally I think I'll try to figure this out today? Did you do that? So at least you were one day ahead, right? Could you imagine? And when was this?
Tuesday.
Right. So Tuesday. So could you imagine if you just did it 2 days ahead, right? So that's what the Sunday ritual really helps us do is, oh crap, I've got 2 of these happening on the same day. How am I going to make it work? Or if I can't make it work, who can help me make it work, right? What else? Yes? Okay, so went to a great networking event last night. Great. I'm going to show you how to maximize that here in a little bit. Is that good? Yes. All right, louder. I didn't hear him, but everybody's clapping. So your son what?
My son finally slept through the night.
Oh, let's go! Slept through the night. So how old?
5 months.
5 months. So yeah, I mean, so tonight, right? But here's the thing: is did you read? Have you read? What is the name of that book? It's been 14 years since I've read it. It's basically the baby book on structuring their feed time, sleep time, and all that, right?
By 12 weeks.
What is it?
12 hours by 12 weeks.
12 Baby Wise. That's what it was. So have you read Baby Wise?
Somebody actually, that's how we learned that somebody mailed me that book.
Boom! Yeah. So if you didn't have it, I was going to buy it for you. Here's the thing, is I just want you to know, structure. We did Baby Wise for Max, and it was like, oh my God, he literally slept through the night. He literally eats at the time we say to eat. And it's just like, and listen, all of you, all of us, we crave structure. That's what rituals are. They're little structures that we create for ourselves. Yes, you had something to share?
I had a big win this week, and it's about your referrals. So my fiance joined my company in September, and his dream is to be able to sell a $4 million house. And because I've sold the same $4 million house 4 times in 10 years of professional school.
What? That's the way to do it.
His very first referral came from a former client of his. He did not have the experience to do it. Referred it to me in January. In 11 weeks, we had 15 showings, 3 offers. I closed on it this week for $500,000 over what any agent thought we would get cash, highest price sale.
What was the final sale price? So he wanted a $4 million sale, and he got a $3.7 million. And by the way, this is not the same house that you've sold, right? I just want you guys to know, do not make your business plan, unless you're her, to sell the same house 4 times for $4 million. It's harder than you think. It's just, yeah.
You think to yourself, like, I'm happy to pay him a huge referral fee.
Oh, heck yeah.
I also think to myself, what else do you do for that generosity? And it took 2 other past clients of mine that gave a reference for me to get that. So it wasn't just a slam dunk.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking about that, and obviously I have generosity to that.
Love it. Congratulations on that. That's awesome. So lots of 10s and wins, right? So they're not always that big, but each and every night we have things to celebrate from our day. We need to celebrate the people that are in our lives, celebrate the things that are in our lives, celebrate the places that are in our lives. So celebrate the things that happen with us. That's what Evaluate's all about. A is for appreciate. You're going to write down 5 appreciations. I write down 5 appreciations. Even if you just write 1 appreciation, what do you appreciate and this is how it goes. I appreciate blank for. That's it. Just finish the sentence. Maybe that's all you do tonight. Maybe that's all you do over the next few nights, is you write out 5 appreciations. Here's what I will tell you. What you appreciate, appreciates. If you want more great relationships in your life, appreciate the ones you have. If you want more great things in your life, appreciate the things you have. If you want more money, appreciate the money you have. Whatever you want more of, appreciate it, and it will grow. How do you appreciate it? You express appreciation. You take care of it. You notice it. I'm telling you right now, I didn't appreciate money. I made $1 million in my 3rd year of real estate. Literally, I made $1 million net, not gross. But I was gross because I was spending it like as fast. And then I got the tax bill of $332,000. That's fun. By the way, the IRS will work with you. But when I truly became wealthy was when I set a budget, was when I started to appreciate money. And how do you know if you appreciate money? Is you have a budget, you're looking at it. Look at your finances on a monthly basis at least. I hired a coach named Alan Dom. And Alan Dom could call me at any time. And if I did not have my profit and loss, my P&L, with me and could tell him what my current P&L was, I had to send him $1,000. That was my coaching. And he called often, early, and often. Had it on me forever. Now I have people to carry it for me. You know what I'm saying right there? Right? But if you don't have a budget, get a budget. Make a budget. So A is for appreciation, and then M is for meditate, right? Meditate. And listen, counting sheep is a form of meditation. Counting 1,001, 100 is a type of meditation. Breathing regularly, just focus on your breathing is a type of meditation. Now, there are also very extensive meditations. Most of the time, you don't need those to go to sleep by this time. And the S, of course, is sex. I'm just kidding. Thanks for all looking up. You're in bed, why not? S is for sleep. Sleep, so go to sleep. God, look at some of you are more attentive than you've been all day. And I mean attentive. At attention. S is for sleep. Lights out, sweet dreams. Got it? That's the nightly ritual. All right, so this is my son's nightly ritual. And then we have a class that we teach called Sweet Dreams where we step you through this day by day. It's literally an everyday class where I personally coach you to create those different habits, okay? So if you're interested in that, check out RMA later. Now, we have the go home ritual. Now, this is the pre-leave ritual. How many of you don't work at an office? You work from home, right? How many of you work from an office? How many of you that work from home have an office at home, right? Great. So this was a big deal for me because early in my career, I would work literally from 4:44 a.m. until like 2 a.m. I burn it. I mean, I did 187 transactions on my own in my third year. No transaction coordinator, no buyer's agents, just me working my ass off, right? So it built a divide in my relationship with my future wife. And it was causing problems with my family even. And so I needed to figure something out. And so I had a ritual that I needed to develop that would help me leave for the day. Like leave work behind mentally. So at 5:45 p.m. on work days, I decided my hours were going to be 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, is that enough? It's a freaking enough. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I'll share that with you later if you want to go through my time block. I can literally tell you what I did every hour on the hour. But what I did at 5:45 is I did the go home ritual. And the go home ritual, the first thing I have to do is get reminded that it's 5:45. So my phone, I actually put a reminder meeting in my phone that said 5:45. It said go home in all caps. So it would pop up and remind me. Then I also had Tiffany, who is my EA, executive assistant, who would come into my office at 5:45 and say, go home. So I was reminded to go home. You might want to have somebody call you. And trust me, if your kids are your accountability partners, they'll tell you, Mom, go home. You promised me ice cream, or whatever it is, right? Or Dad, let's go home. So get reminded is the first thing. Number two is you need to organize your desk. Organize your desk. Now, that doesn't mean it's empty. That doesn't mean it's clear. You can have your files in order of closing. You can have your files alphabetically. You can have your files just in a stack. It works. You can have it in who you need to call. But have your desk organized. Because what happens during the day? Or is it just me? Like the desk gets a little convoluted. But when I stack it, put it on the side, it looks organized and it is somewhat organized. And guess what? When you come back in the next day, is it better to see a freaked up desk? Like somebody broke into your office and was looking for something? Or is it better to have 7, 8, 10 files neatly put to the right? And to take it even further, the power of the 3-ring binder. And I know most of you are like, well, we don't have physical files anymore, Mr. Maher. And it's like, you don't have to call me Mr. Maher, it makes me feel old. But here's the thing, is I get it, but you're going to have something that lays out your day, yes? You're going to have some structure there. So here's the other thing. Organize the desktop on your freaking computers. Or don't. Here's the other thing. Your Phone. How many of you have everything organized in folders on the front and you only have one screen on your phone? Or how many of you have 2,000 apps and you have no idea where anything is? Yeah, I get it. So organize it. Organize it. Especially the ones you use often. All right? All right, number 3 is the high five. These are your 5 most important to-dos. Do you always have 5? No, but high 6 doesn't sound as good as high 5. So it's your high 5. What are your highest 5 priorities for the next day? And let me tell you something. Knowing that, and you come in at 9, or when I came in at 9, I usually had those 5 knocked out or somebody else was working on them within 15 minutes, and it was awesome. The best time to talk to a potential referral source is in the morning. Why? Then they think about you all day long. It's just the truth. So, and then we're going to organize our environment. So now I stand up from the desk and it's like, what did I take out? Did I take a book out? Did I take a folder out? Did I take a binder? I'm just going to organize the environment. I'm going to look, right? And this jacket is hanging on a hanger, right? And it's like I take it off, put it on the same hanger, and put my hat off if I'm wearing a hat, and then I'm out. The next thing I'm going to do is exit. Exit. I'm going to go home. For those of you who work from home, I work from home, shut the office door. Shut the door, the day's over. Does that mean you're going to stop thinking about everything? Maybe, maybe not. Right? I still have great ideas in the shower. I still have great ideas when I'm watching my kids' ball game. I still have these things that go through my head. But you know what? My main focus is going to be family. It's going to be friends. It's going to be health, right? That's the first thing I do after I get done, by the way, is I'll go to the gym right after work. A lot of people work out in the morning. That's not for me. Some of you work out in the morning. Good for you. It's working for you all day long, yeah? I'd probably be skinnier. I'd probably have more than a half pack. Not even close to a 6-pack, right? You got it? So money, I forgot money, I guess, is money is 5 things, which is very interesting that I didn't tell you about the M, because this was the one that I had the hardest time adding to my sequence. Is the reason I added money is because I've never been about the money, which is interesting, because I've made millions, and I don't say that to brag or anything like that. I have. And maybe the reason I've had millions is because I don't worry about the money. Isn't that interesting? But it's one of those where, like, I had to include the money as part of the go-home ritual because I needed to remind myself, where's the money? Like, who are the leads? Yes, we got leads, right? Who are the leads I need to call? Who are the referrals I need to call? What is going to make me money tomorrow? What is going to make you money? You need to focus on that a little bit. I needed to focus on that a little bit. Because otherwise, I would just be playing real estate instead of selling real estate. Some of you are playing real estate or playing realtor, but you're not necessarily selling real estate. And you know what we need to do? We need to sell real estate if we're going to be in real estate sales. Fair enough? It's so interesting that I just missed that, because that honestly could have been my morning. It could have been my pre-leave ritual. So I'm going to write down a few things that are going to earn me money the next day. Okay? All right, pre-leave ritual or landing ritual. Landing rituals just mean they're to land something, right? You're going to phase out of something. Launch rituals, you're launching into something. Launching rituals, landing rituals. All right, the last ritual is 30 mornings, or the morning ritual. 30 mornings is a 30-day class that I teach in Referral Mastery Academy, and it's everyday coaching where you build your ultimate morning ritual, right? So if you're interested in that, we can talk about RMA at the end. So what is your morning ritual, right? How many of you have mayhem in the AHEM? No, right? Everybody have pretty good structure in the morning? Pretty good? No? So let's talk about that for a second. Here, I co-authored this book with Hal Elrod, and he wrote a book called The Miracle Morning, and we wrote a book called The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents, and I positioned it exactly for real estate agents, and that it's, first of all, we have silence. Wake up and just be silent. Be quiet. And I will tell you, there's also a piece of this is get outside. Get outside and see the sunlight. There's so much research about sunlight right now and getting into the grass and seeing sunlight first thing in the morning. So silent, and then the A is for affirmations. So positive self-talk. What are you saying about yourself? And then we have the V, which is visualization. I'm big into visualization. I've been in athletics all my life. And I will tell you, visualization made me a better hitter, made me a better quarterback, made me better in athletics. I continue to play baseball to this day, and visualization is a part of what I do. And here's the thing. Naturally, we tend to visualize the worst case scenario. It's a fear, it's to protect ourselves. But what we need to do is sometimes force ourselves to visualize the best outcome. What is the best possible outcome? I remember being called to a meeting with a builder who had a development, and we were selling in the development, and things weren't selling as quickly as we would have liked them to be. And so I remember that, like, I'm going today to get fired. And it's like, okay, I need to do what? I need to change that thought. So I just opened up my arms and I said, here's the thing. Today's going to go really well. It's going to be surprisingly peaceful. By the way, anybody here work with builders and developers? Anybody know them to be particularly peaceful? Like, what's the opposite of peaceful? Explosive? Yes, that was this guy, right? So I was waiting for the explosion, but here's the thing. I said, no, today is going to be peaceful. Not surprisingly peaceful. It's going to be peaceful. It's going to be okay. We're going to, like, be logical today, not emotional. And it's going to be, like, open-armed and solutions-based, and it's going to be fine. Well, when I got there, his parents were also with him. So it was the builder and the parents who obviously had invested in the neighborhood, and we had the greatest discussion ever. It was very calm. It was very peaceful. It was all under control. It was very like, what can we do to, and I'm not even joking. Now you're going to think this is where we jumped the shark a little bit, but I literally, after the meeting was done, I went out to the back deck. There was a dove perched on the corner of the back deck. Not even joking. And a dove, of course, represents what? Demons. You didn't know that? Like, he was a freaking demon. I had to get out of this arrangement. That was my symbol. I'm just kidding. So, very cool. So that was my visualization, just changing how you're, and by the way, do you think my demeanor was different going in when I was thinking of peace versus ready for a fight, right? Sometimes you go into meetings like this, and what do they turn into? They have to turn into a fight because you're already ready. Exercise in the morning, great idea. I walk and I listen to podcasts. That's all I do in the morning. I sometimes do HIIT. Anybody familiar with high-intensity interval training? Right? I'll do that on the bike and listen to podcasts, which leads into the next thing, which is reading. Read in the morning. I'm a big believer in nonfiction in the mornings. Nonfiction. Informational books in the morning. Podcasts. Listening. By the way, listening counts, especially in the morning. And then scribing is the S, which is for journaling, jotting down, free writing, entering in your diary, writing down whatever comes to mind. It's amazing when you're listening to a podcast and walking, how many great ideas that you will come up with in the morning after a refreshing night of sleep because you did the nightly ritual or had sex. There we go, good. Got you back, good. All right, so that actually doesn't happen much anymore. So either you run the day or the day runs you, okay? 30 mornings. We teach a class where every morning we teach you a little piece of the morning ritual. You design your own, and we help you design your own. The thing you're going to find about everything we teach is we take your strengths and the strength of the system, and we mesh them together. It's like football. How many of you are familiar with football? Right? Football, right? You take the quarterback, you take their strengths. If they can't throw the ball long, are you going to have a bunch of long passes in your offense? No, right? You're going to have more of the short game. And it's just like that here. We're not going to tell you what to do in your ultimate morning ritual, but sometimes having a guide there to help you build your ritual can be really helpful. Sound good? All right. So this is the 30 Mornings Challenge that I was just talking about. We have daily coaching. We have great coaches. We can talk about this in a little bit, but I don't want to dive into it right now yet. That's a lot of words right there. So we've had people, a lot of people, I mean, we've changed thousands of lives through the 30 Mornings program. helping them design their morning ritual. You don't all get a Tesla by doing it. I'm just making sure you know that. So, all right, self-mastery. Does that help under self-mastery? Good stuff so far, right? If you've gotten like one tweak or one aha so far, raise your hand real quick, right? Look around the room, right? So put your hands together so far. Good. All right. Now what I want you to do is I want you to do me a favor and stand up real quick. Stand up. No partner thing this time. But you have to trust the person next to you. Think about that for a second. You guys good? All right. You good? All right, put your hands together like this. All right. All right. Now, I want you to just drop your hands at your side, and I want you to close your eyes. All right. First thing that I want you to do is I want you to point your right hand straight into the ground. So point it like your finger, right? And all right, so you're going to point it down on the ground. This is the negativity coming out of you. This is the bad stuff coming out of you. This is the stuff that you don't need to know anymore. You're just going to take it out. You're going to get rid of the mistakes. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to put your number one in the air. Put your hand straight out in the air, straight up, straight up, straight up, pointing at the sky, right? This is next, right? This is you. You are number one. Like you are number one. Repeat after me. I'm number one. You are number one. You gotta first love yourself. You gotta first take care of yourself, right? You are number one. You are number one for that client. You are number one for that referral source. You are number one. Now what I want you to do is point straight forward. Point straight forward. Point straight forward. This is your future. This is progress. This represents positive growth. This represents your next level. You're taking the motion. You're moving forward. You're always moving forward. Things are going to happen to you, for you, around you, but you're going to continue to progress and grow. You are in a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. This is your direction. Now what I want you to do is I want you to point to yourself. I want you to point to yourself. I want you to point to yourself. Now what I want you to do is I want you to open your eyes without moving your arm. Open your eyes. Where are you pointing right now? You're pointing to your what? You're pointing to your heart. Would you agree? Now, I didn't say point to your heart. I said point to yourself. I said point to yourself. I didn't say point to your heart. And by the way, if you're not pointing to your heart, it's okay. I messed it up. But here's the thing. You're pointing to your heart. Here's the point that I want to make. You're going to hear a lot of great ideas. You're going to take a lot of notes. You're going to hear a lot of different things that you can do in real estate. What I want you to first do is I want you to first listen to yourself. Does this feel right in my heart of hearts? Does cold calling feel right in your heart of heart? Maybe it does for you, maybe it doesn't, but listen to yourself. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to trust in yourself. Trust it. Have you guys read Blink by Malcolm Gladwell? He talks in there about our intuition, how we're truly, the first answer we think of is almost always right if we will just trust ourselves. Trust yourself. The second thing I want you to think about is I want you to believe in yourself. What the heck? I'm looking out here. I don't know if you're brand new. I don't know if you're a 30-year veteran. I don't know if you did 3,000 transactions this year. I don't know. I don't know any of that. I think you're a top producer. I believe in you. That's the hard part, though. I can't believe in you more than you believe in yourself. How many of you believe in yourself? Yeah. 9 of you. I think we're making progress here, right? Don't stop believing, baby. Is that Journey again? My God. I'm totally not listening to that when I get in the car. So now here's the other thing that you got to do, right? The next thing is love yourself. Forgive yourself. First, every morning, wake up and just say, I love myself. I'm gonna forgive the shit. I'm just gonna leave it behind today. I'm just gonna move forward. I am a freaking top producer. I am helping people. I am loving on people. Just love on people all day. Love on people all day. Get into generosity generation, not lead generation. Just go, go, go. Go love on people. And I will tell you, the more you love yourself, the more you're comfortable with yourself, the more you will love on others. The more attractive you are. There's nothing like hearing somebody shit on themselves. Trust me on that. I was in college. But here's the thing. I just want you to know, is there's so many of you, we give you a compliment and you would point out your pimple. You know people like that. Don't be that people. You'd say, oh, this old thing? No, go, damn right, own this for 20 years, still can fit in it. Let's go. That's saying something right there. Trust me on that one. So the bottom line I just want you to know is listen to yourself. Like, really, quit the bullshit in this business. Like, here's the thing. Everybody's like, got to do video. But it's like, what the hell do I do on video? Like, when you have a face for radio like I do, it's like, we don't want to do video. But we can all do video. And you know what? There is a thing to do on video, which I'm going to show you later, the perfect thing to do on a video. Is that fair enough? But damn it, listen to the rest of this and go, does this feel right? If it feels right, let's go. Fair enough? Yeah. All right, please have a seat. We're going to go to the next part, right? We're going to be out of here in an hour. Is that okay? 3 hours? You good? Do I have 9 hours to finish this? I'm just kidding. All right, the second one is much faster. So that was self-mastery. Now what I want to do is I want to show you what's working. This was all about taking care of the baggage, taking care of yourself. What I want to do now is how do we specifically get referrals fast through events and networking? And this is relationship mastery. There's going to be 3 steps in this. And I know a lot of people are going, if you have to go to the restroom, just go ahead, you don't have to ask for my permission or anything. It's all good. And please don't just sit there and wet yourself. That doesn't work either. So, relationship mastery. So, how well do you build your relationship one-to-one? So, this is a game changer. What I'm about to share with you is eye-opening when I developed this. This is called the relationship scale, and this is why you're not getting referrals. This is it. So 0 is you don't know them, they don't know you. It's a 0 relationship. You don't have any relationship. A 1 is you've never met, right? You might know of each other through advertising or a card. They might have seen you or whatever it was. And then 1 through 3 is no chemistry. How many of you have ever had a meeting where there was no chemistry, like creep alert, or too much alert, too much too soon alert, whatever. It's just one of those, or you just don't have anything in common, right? So that's a 1 through 3. Now, a 4, we're going up the relationship scale. A 4 is somebody who you can spend about 3 minutes with. You can spend about 3 minutes with them, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be good. But after 3 minutes, you're like excusing yourself. A 5 is somebody you can spend 3 hours with, right? You can sit and have a long lunch with somebody like that. There's a big difference between 3 minutes and 3 hours. Would you agree? So, but that's a really good relationship. A 6 is somebody you could spend 3 days with. A 6, now this is just above a 5. But a 6 is somebody you could hang out with for a weekend. You could go to the lake, but by the time like Sunday night rolls around, you're ready to go home. You know what I'm saying on that? 3-day relationship. Now, a 7, these are your best friends ever, in some cases a spouse. These are people that you could spend 3 weeks with. You could go on a vacation to Greece or Italy and walk around and enjoy each other, and the time would fly by, and you'd really enjoy it. Right? And this is best friend status. A 7-level relationship's awesome. An 8-level relationship is even higher than a best friend relationship. It's even higher because somebody entrusted you with their money. So, can a 7 move up to an 8? Yes, it's a friend who entrusted you with your money, and that's a big step. An 8 is a client. A 9 is somebody who's ever introduced, connected, or referred you. This is somebody who's already thinking about you when you're not in the same room. A 9 is what we call a champion, somebody that's willing to champion you, talk about you. And then we have the 10. And the 10 is the people I was talking about earlier that gave you the file and said, take care of my friend, answer their questions, and show up at closing. And that was their entire expectations for you to keep all the money. Those are ambassadors. Ladies and gentlemen, 8, 9, and 10 are the referral zone. We want to get people, and just so I just want to repeat, A 9 doesn't have to be, and is very rarely a past client. It can be, but it's not always. How many of you have ambassadors who have never used your services before? They're the best, right? It's almost like I don't want them to use my services because they might be disappointed. Maybe. But here's the problem. I'm telling you, if I just covered this one slide, it would have been worth whatever you paid today, which is nothing for most of you, but it's good. Thank you for that. But here's the thing. We don't typically build relationships to the 8, 9, 10 level because of our fear and because of it's ingrained in our hereditary. What we do is it's like in 10,000 BC, and we see a shadowy figure come across the horizon. What do we think about that shadowy figure as that figure walks across the horizon and is walking towards us? What do we think? Yeah.
Well, you get out of there.
What?
You get out of there.
You get out, maybe, right? But we have to determine something first, which is what? Friend or foe? Yes? Yeah. Friend or foe. So we're like, friend or foe? If they're a friend, then we're going to run out and maybe take some of their labors off and walk them into the tribe. Yes? If they're a foe, what do we need to do? We need to warn the tribe and gather arms and be ready to battle, because if there's one of them, there's probably more coming. Friend or foe. But here's the thing. We do the same thing every single day. As soon as we meet someone, we're judging. It's okay. Everybody does it. We do need to get out of judgment and get into curiosity, but we're all judging, and we judge friend or foe. We do. Here's how we do it. Where do they fit in my mental relationship scale? Are they someone that we can hang out with? Or are they someone that we have no chemistry with? We're judging. It's okay, right? And we have that kind of that judgment going on. But the thing is it's like we build it to where, well, we're not going to fight them if there's no chemistry. But the thing is a lot of times we don't love on them because they fit into the 5, 6, or 7 category. What we need to do is not just think we're safe at friend or foe. We need to build relationships until they're in the 8, 9, or 10 level. And I'm telling you, the way to build these relationships is to build every relationship to a level 10. Build it to a 10 level relationship, and you can do it in a matter of minutes. You can go from 0 to hero, from not known. You can take strangers and turn them into ambassadors. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a gentleman get 201 referrals in one day Saturday, this last Saturday. 201 referrals in one day. I see that look on your face. It's like, no way. How do you, way? Half the referrals were from strangers. Want to know how I did it? That's what I'm going to show you. So, the relationship scale. We need to build from a 0 to 10. So here's some lessons real quick from the scale. Number 1 is referral happen in the referral zone, of course. If a past client or old relationship will probably not be your best referral source. That's one of the biggest things I learned from it is I need to, everybody thinks when we talk about referrals, it's about past clients referring us. No, we're gonna just treat everybody like a referral source. Here's the other thing. We need to pour into people first. Massive value first. We need to give massive value first. And then it's easier to take a 0 to a 10 than it is to take a 5 to a 10. Isn't that interesting? Because it's a first impression thing. If they think you're a 10 already after the first 3 minutes, then they think you're a 10 forever. And then also we need something called an ambassador development plan. Like, how do we do that? So I'm about to share with it. I'm sharing with you the networking play. This is the play. This is the win for today. This is you go out of here implementing the networking play, and you will be getting lots of business, lots of referrals, and you will build an incredible tribe of trust. So there are 3 steps. You're going to visit, you're going to meet, and you're going to invite. You're going to visit, you're going to meet, you're going to invite. Repeat after me. We're going to visit, we're going to meet, and we're going to invite. 1, 2, 3. Visit, meet, invite. That's it. Visit, meet, invite. Visit, meet, invite. Visit, meet, invite. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to visit. So we're going to implement the 7 steps to connecting with connectors. And I'm going to go ahead and click them all through. Number 1 is we're going to go with the spirit of generosity. We're going to visit a networking group or a networking event, like your chamber. How many of you are members of your chamber? And just so you know, did you know you can visit one time without being a member of the chamber? You can visit to check it out. Did you know that? So visit to check it out and implement this one plan. By the way, you can visit, check it out, never go back again. Number 1, go with the spirit of generosity. You're going to see how you can help. So many people go to a network and they're thinking they're going to get business. They're looking there to take. You know who they are. You've seen them. They're a dead giveaway. They're awful. They're energy vampires, and we need to kick them in the nuts when appropriate. I'm just telling you. So number 2 is you're going to call the organizer. Call the membership chair, president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. Call somebody who knows the group. Membership chairs are great. You're going to ask 2 things. Number 1, are the introductions formal or informal? If you go to a B&I, the introductions are formal. Everybody literally stops, you stand up and introduce yourself. Would it be good to know that before you go? Yes. It's like you're ready to introduce yourself, right? Yes. Maybe. You would be if you knew it was coming. But here's the other thing, right? Yeah. And then the other side is, or is it more informal? Most chamber events are informal. It's kind of up to us to introduce ourselves to each other. Yes? Okay, we want to know that before we go in. Number 2 is you're going to ask the membership chair, who is someone I need to meet to learn more about your group? Who is a great representative of your group? Who's a connector? I'm a growing business owner looking to grow my business. Who should I meet? They're going to give you a name or 2. Here is the magic question. Who else? Who else should I meet? By the way, when somebody gives you a referral, take the information and say, who else comes to mind? Who else? You want to take every referral and turn it into 2? Who else? Who else? They give you 1 or 2 or 3 names, you go, who else? And they give you 5 names. You want to get 4 to 5 names. Step 3, you're going to Google /research /Facebook /not quite stalk the connectors, the 5 names they give you. You're going to go research them. The main reason you're researching them is to not creep them out. Like, hey, yeah, I know you've got 3 kids and you live over in Southside, and you know, it's like, okay, too much, right? No, the main reason you're doing it is so you know what they look like, because you want to recognize them when they come in. But knowing the other information, if you know they're into sports, ask them about sports. If you know they're into whatever it is, right, ask them about it. Don't go, hey, I see you got a new dog. That's just creepy when it's coming from a stranger. You know, it's like, what have you been doing, right? So, and by the way, if you do happen to mention something and they give you a weird look, which has happened to me because I did research them, is just go, hey, listen, the membership chair had mentioned your name, so I checked you out on Facebook, that's why I know. And just explain it, right? Don't tell them that you've been parked out in front of their house for like 30 days and, you know, you were hired by someone. So the next thing is we're going to research them. And then, here's the thing. We're going to show up 15 to 20 minutes early for the event. You only have to do this once. It's okay. You're going to show up 15 to 20 minutes early. You're going to go introduce yourself to the membership chair or the person who's running the event. Sometimes, because you're there early, they will introduce you to other influencers before you even get going, and they will introduce you with the most incredible words, like, oh, this is the top producing realtor, and you're kind of looking around for who they're actually introducing. Or this is a really growing business owner. By the way, did I not give those words to that person? Yes. But it's like, this is a growing business owner, a very successful business owner in the area, and he does real estate, and I think you should meet him. That's what the membership chair is saying about you, and he doesn't even know who you are. But the introduction is powerful before you even get to the connectors. Now, you are then going to help because you're there early. Now, help could mean you're the fifth person helping with a four-cornered table. You know what I'm saying there? It could mean that you're helping straighten up, right? It could mean that you're putting chairs down, whatever it means. But be helpful. Now, that's not always natural for people. You're there, you're a little awkward, you're a little nervous, you're not quite thinking right. You jump in and help, trust me, the membership chair and the other people will notice what you're doing. They will. So you're going to help. Then the event starts going. And all of a sudden you see one of the connectors come in. We're not going to go directly to the connector and introduce ourselves. And just so you know, that's the number one biggest mistake I see in networking is direct introductions. Shoving a card in their hand, saying, hey, call me. For what? Why? No. And I also know that there's a class out there that teaches some of that stuff. And I will tell you, I've been on the back end of that at a Starbucks where a realtor came in and shoved their card in my hand. And I took the card and I threw it on the floor in front of about 15 others. Which is more disrespectful? Right? And it's one of those where that's really what you're going to get from that card is what are they going to do? The only difference is I threw it away in front of them. There's no way you're keeping that card. By the way, I taught Tyler a lesson that day. And I'll give it to you right now. I said, Tyler, there's 17 people in line here. You're going down the line giving cards because you got to make contacts or some bullshit. So we're going to do something different. Tyler, let's go to the front of the line. What do you think about that? Tyler's like, hell yeah. Tyler's about 26, spiky hair. You know what I'm talking about. So we go to the front of the line, and I told the barista, I go, here's the thing. The next 17, and if anybody walks in, they're on me and Tyler. We're going to buy everybody coffee as they come through. So the first person came through, we bought them their coffee, and they were like, what's going on? We're just celebrating. We're celebrating that we got a great lesson today, and we're looking forward to meeting you. And they were like, oh, what do you guys do? I go, Tyler, what do you do? Tell them. I'm in real estate. I'm brand new. I was like, okay, Tyler, come here for a second. New is an excuse. You're no longer allowed to use the word new. Are you a professional realtor? He goes, I haven't been paid on anything yet. Okay, so you're a realtor, yes? Right, did you pay anything to be a professional realtor? And he goes, yeah, I paid for the class. I go, you're a professional realtor. So, all right, next person comes through, we're buying their coffee, right? They're very interested in us. Isn't that amazing? That by us buying their coffee, they're wondering what the heck we did? And Tyler said, yeah, I'm a professional realtor. Dun, da, da, da. And they're like, oh, really? That's cool. What a nice gesture on your part. That's really nice. We went all the way through. And then I go, Tyler, come here. Instead of telling them when they ask what you do, say, I'd love to tell you about that, but what I'd really like to know is, what do you do? Let's see what happens. So 5, 6, 7 people through, comes across, and they're like, what do you do? Oh my God, this is so nice, you know. What are you doing this for? We're just celebrating. And they're like, really, what do you do? I go, Tyler, what do we do? And Tyler goes, I'd love to hear what you do. He skipped the whole part where it's like, I'd love to tell you about what I do, but I'd love to. But he got it. You know what the other person did? Told us what they do. And then walked away. And here's what's interesting. Walked away. I literally saw her stop and pause and think, I never learned what they did. She came back over and said, I never did hear what you did. Thank you for asking. Tyler, what do we do? Tyler's like, I sell homes, which is better than real estate, right? I sell homes. And they're like, oh, really? You do real estate? Yeah, we do real estate. And we had 20 conversations that day. It cost us about $120. Which was the more effective route? Why? Why was it more effective? I want you to think about that. Helpful, right? Generosity. Give massive value first. Was it worth the 120 to have those conversations? Right? So I made him pay for the whole damn thing too. So here's the thing. When you see the connector, you're going to go to the membership chair and say, hey, listen, I just saw Dave or Cindy walk in. Would you mind introducing me? It's called the triangle of trust. We're no longer going direct, people. We're not going direct. We're going to think to ourselves, who do I know that knows that person? So the membership chair knows the person better than we do. They have a strong line of trust. The membership chair trusts us. We have a dotted line now to the person we're being introduced to. And it's up to us to build off of that dotted line. Would you agree? So we get introduced. It is amazing the words the membership chairs will use to they don't say like this is a new person who's just like here. They're always very complimentary. And also, they just saw you help, and you were helpful, and you were there early, which is somewhat professional. So then, when you meet them, you're going to have a frog conversation. You want to imagine a little frog on their head. And FROG is an acronym. It's for family. So are you from around here? Do you live around here? Where are you from here? You know, you have family? You have family around here? Whatever it may be. And then R is for recreation. Recreation is what do you do for fun? O is for what do you do? What do you do for a living? How'd you get into it? What do you love the most about it? What's your biggest frustration? And then the G is very important. The G is very important, and it's last for a reason. It just happens to spell frog, is what are your goals? That is a critical question. What are your goals? Here's the thing I'll tell you. If they don't have goals, you probably want to move on, because successful people have goals. The other thing is because we talked about family, recreation, and occupation, they're going to tell you the most important goal in their life. They'll tell you about a trip for their family. They'll tell you about a trip or their golf score. I've had people share with me that they want to be a +3 by the end of the year in golf. Well, what's important to that person? Obviously, it's golf. And then also, I've had people tell me about their business goals. You know, my goal is to lead my company in sales in the next quarter. So what's important to them? We now know what's important. If we know what's important, is it easier to help them? So we're going to have the frog convo, and then we're going to invite them to a one-to-one. We're going to meet with them. If you like them. If you don't like them, move on. If you don't like them, move on. If you like them, invite them to a one-to-one. Then we're going to meet with them, right? So the second step is to meet. And just so you know, your purpose in life is to be referable. That's your purpose in life. What are the characteristics of a referable person? And I'm telling you right now, the nicest compliment anybody could ever say about you is, I can count on you. And I'm telling you right now, if somebody can't count on you, you got work to do, to be reliable, to be a promise keeper, to be trustworthy. Your purpose in life is to be referable. Seek to be referred. And you know what your business's purpose is? It's to be referable. If your business isn't referable, then aren't we doing something wrong? We want to build a referable business. So what does that look like? It's going to look like some one-to-ones that look like this, right? So we're going to have a one-to-one. The number one person that you need to recruit to your team is an unpaid salesperson. You need brand ambassadors. I'm going to help you build an army of ambassadors using the one-to-one technique at the top of the pyramid. This is called the networking stack. This is what Aaron talked about earlier, and he has implemented it as well as anybody in the country. And the networking stack is, here's the thing. We need to do one-to-ones. We need to dress for one-to-ones. We need to mentally, for me, I'm an introvert, huge introvert. So I need to mentally be ready for the one-to-one, and I also need to be energized for the one-to-one because I know it's going to be tiring at the end. So because of that, you want to stack your one-to-ones. Stack them back to back to back because it makes you more efficient. It makes the entire process more efficient. But there's actually something even better than that, is when you stack the appointments, you can stack them strategically. You can put an ambassador first and then have somebody that doesn't know you very well second. And then you stack somebody that really knows you and then stack somebody that doesn't know you very well. When they come, so the 1 o'clock comes at 1, you're finishing your 11:30, you introduce the two of them together. Got it so far? So you just got finished with lunch, 11:30 to 1, and your 1 o'clock comes. You're going to introduce or connect the two of them. You're going to go to the restroom. Trust me on that one. And what are they going to talk about? You. Who's going to talk the most? The one who knows you the most. And are they going to say nice things? Hopefully. So when you sit down with this person that is somewhat new to you at 1 o'clock, are they already sold on you? So do you have to sell yourself? Is it effective to sell yourself anyway? The answer is no. There's a lot of things going around story selling and story branding and stuff like that. Nobody gives a shit about your story. They don't. Until what? Until what? Until you hear their story. When you hear their story, all of a sudden they like, oh, you know what? What's your story? You're an interesting person. You know how they know you're an interesting person? Because you were interested in them. That's how life works. So when you sit down for your 1 o'clock, you're not going to talk about yourself at all. You're going to ask questions about them. Your job is to become the expert at the person across the table. You're already an expert in you. Are you going to know anything more there? You can't learn anything by talking about yourself. So you're going to ask them questions. There's been many times, by the end of the meeting, I'm not sure if they knew I was in real estate or not, until I found out later when they were bragging to somebody else that I was the best realtor in town. And they'd met me one time for an hour. And that's truth. I was the best realtor in town simply because I'd asked questions and listened. It really is simple. I tell realtors all the time, there's a lot of realtors who just don't have enough space between their eyes. And it's not physical. I'm just saying. Not you guys, though. Other people. Talking for a friend. So we're going to stack them. And then, so here's the thing, right? We're going to do it at a home court advantage. So we're going to schedule these back to back to back. You can do a morning stack or afternoon stack. I always did an afternoon stack. I felt like I got my morning stuff done, phone calls, work, and then 11:30 to 1, I had to eat lunch anyway. I'd have lunch with an ambassador, Never Eat Alone, Keith Ferrazzi, great book. And then 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, I was meeting with other people. Now, I always did it at the home court advantage. I want to make a neutral setting a home court advantage. So pick a restaurant. Pick somewhere that you like, that represents you, that's somewhat central to your area, and you want to have, you're going to go in and you're going to tell the hostess or host, you're going to tell the manager, maybe even the owner, get their attention. Just say, I'd like to meet with the manager. And sometimes they're like, oh shit, what did we do wrong now? And it's like, no, this is good. And they go get the manager and you say, here's the thing. Every other week, and notice that I'm under-promising here. I did it every week. But I said every other week, in case I had to miss a week, right? Every other week, I'm going to bring 3 or 4 influential connectors into your restaurant, and I'm going to take a booth from 11:30 to 4 o'clock. I'm going to take it for the whole lunch hour. I'm going to take care of the server very, very well. But I just want you to know that this is what I'm going to be doing. And I also have a particular booth that I want to do this in. And I want the back corner booth. You want the back corner booth. Why is that? Because you don't want to get shot in the back. I'm just kidding. That's actually how I came up with that, is Wild Bill Hickok. How many of you anybody ever heard of Wild Bill Hickok, right? So Wild Bill Hickok had this thing when he played poker and he sat at a bar. He would always sit with his back to the wall, right? Because he always had a fear of being shot in the back. Well, the day that he was shot, he happened to play in a poker game. He was playing in a poker game. Well, he sat in a seat that happened to not have a back. And somebody came in the front door. looking for a name for themselves, because you know what? In the Old West, you could make a name for yourself if you shot somebody who had a name. And I don't remember this guy's name, so it didn't work to him. But here's the thing, is shot Wild Bill Hickok in the back. He fell forward, and when he did, he had a hand of 2 aces and 3 eights. And that's why the full house of aces and eights is called the dead man's hand. Did you guys know that? Right? So the whole thing here is set in the back corner. You want a booth in the back corner. Now, the reason I did that, and I didn't even know a lot of this before, was because I'm what? Hard of hearing. Not quite deaf. I heard that. Come on now. Right? But notice you didn't say clean the kitchen. I would have never heard that. But here's the thing, is I'm hard of hearing. So being in the back corner helped with that, but it also helped with sight lines. You can see the whole room. And if somebody you know walks in, right, you can introduce them. You can make it work. This is my home court advantage. It's called EBT. If you've read the book, I call the restaurant EVT. That was my inside joke to my Kansas City people. And that was my view from the corner in the middle. And then the far right that was my table. And it's an old elevator from an old department store that was EBT. Emery Bird Thayer was the name of the department store. And that was the elevator, and there were 2 of them, and that was actually table 49, which is 7 times 7 for those of you keeping score at home and fans of 7L. And I would sit on the left side, and my guest would always sit on the right side. And the left side view is the one up top. The right side view is me. So they could see me, I could see everything. Now, so it's up to me to pay attention. I knew I could pay attention, but if I set somebody across from me, they might get distracted a lot, especially if they're a 2, maybe. I'm just saying. So, maybe not. But, so we're going to meet at the home court advantage, right? So we're going to pick a restaurant, but I have a suggestion. Remember, this restaurant represents you, so don't pick this one. That is actually the name of a real restaurant. And I probably should have picked that. That would have been more memorable. But we don't want to know, hey, do you mind meeting me at the Idiot, So, all right, home court advantage. We're going to meet, and we're going to ask questions. Remember, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions, not your answers. You're not going to be paid by what you answer. You're going to be paid by what you ask. So, here's the thing, is some of the questions that you want to ask are very simple, but let me give you the one that is gold. This is the one I start every Zoom with. This question is what I start every meeting with. This question is what I start every listing presentation with. This question is what I start every buyer's consultation with. Would you like to know what that question is? It is, how do I make this the biggest win for you? How do I make this move the biggest win for you, to a seller or buyer? How do I make this meeting the biggest win for you? How do I make this Zoom the biggest win for you? I ask that question every single day, every single Zoom that I have, every single meeting that I have, every single lunch. How do I make this lunch the biggest win for you? Now, what does that do? What does that do? Raise your hand. What is the power of that question? Yes, sir. Makes the other person feel that you want to provide value. Yeah. So is the meeting going to be all about me? It's all about who? It's mostly all about them, right? What else? What else is the power of that question?
You're learning what they want.
Yeah. I'm learning their expectations. And listen, everybody comes into meeting with expectations except for me. I come into every meeting with no expectations. I have no hopes, no aspirations. My only outcome is the best possible outcome for the meeting. That's my only outcome. I don't care. That's how comfortable I am with myself. That's how much I love myself, is I don't care. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay no matter what happens at that meeting. Would you agree that that's the truth? So here's the fact too. People will reveal themselves about what they're expecting. I've had sellers who said, well, I got this postcard in the mail that said my neighbor's house sold in 4 days for $50,000 over asking. And my house is, oh, you've met this person, better than theirs, so I expect it to sell in how many days? 1 to 3 days, and I expect to get what over asking? $60,000 to $70,000 over asking. Now, is it good to know that before you take that listing? Yes, it is. Because you're going to have to reset the expectations. Would you agree? There is a way to get $70,000 over asking. There is. And there's a way to sell it in 1 to 3 days. Would you guys agree with that? You can talk about that and the benefits of it. And then they'll say, well, it only took you 3 days to sell it, so I think you should reduce your commission. And I go, no, I think I should get a freaking bonus. Would you rather wait longer? It's like if you had cancer and I removed it in 3 days, would you pay me more than if I removed it in 33 days? Yes, you would. You had a problem, I solved it fast. I get paid for that. And you're not paying for the 3 days, you're paying for the 30 years I have in the business that made the 3 days happen, right? Thank you. I mean, I really say that stuff. Ask me for a discount, please. Seriously, somebody asked me for a discount. Somebody asked me to cut my commission. Yeah, go ahead.
Please cut your, if you wouldn't, I set up this meeting and.
Thank you for that.
We're really strapped, we're moving up north, we're gonna need the money. Was wondering.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So let me get this right, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. You're asking me for a discount. Is that right? You're asking me for a discount? I think so. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. Just follow real closely. How many of the letter F is in the word discount? Like the letter F. How many are there in the word discount?
I don't spell real well.
It's okay. You can get this one. How many F's are in the word discount? None? So you're telling me that there's no effing discount. Is that what you're telling me? So I'm just agreeing with you that there's no effing discount, and I'm going to hold you to that. So is that okay? Can we keep moving? It's all good, all right? So now tell me about the realtor before that cut their commission. Tell me about them. So she was willing to do it for less? So she literally came in here and just literally dropped her pants and said that she was going to do it for less. Is that what she was? So whose money was she talking about when she cut her commission? Whose money was she talking about? So she was talking about her own, right? She was talking about her own money. So if she just drops her pants and just gives it away with her own money, what's she going to do with yours? I mean, she can't even negotiate her own money. I mean, look at Congress. How does Congress do with other people's money? You think they do a good job? They don't do a good job. I'm just throwing it out there. That's my opinion.
My house is better, it's gonna sell fast, you aren't gonna have to work so hard.
Well, I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen where we may not sell it at all. Are you prepared for that?
No, because my house is better, it's gonna sell fast.
Well, we've had the best houses in the city not sell. Ask me why.
Why?
Because they're overpriced. That's it, right? So here's the thing. We're going to come up with a price that you want. Does that sound fair enough?
We know that, and that's it's gonna sell.
And I'll tell you the thing is that I want you to know something, and this is true, is you're going to choose the price that you list your home at. Are you good with that? Now, we're going to present it in a couple ways. I'm going to give you what I think. We'll give you maybe an appraiser, what they think. And then you're going to make the choice based on those things. Now, here's the thing. If something's overpriced, you're not going to get any showings and you're not going to get any offers. So when somebody sees that's been out there 30 days with no showings and no offers, what do people think about it? They think there's something wrong with it. And no matter your house is perfect, they'll think something's wrong with it. And that happens. But here's the thing. Have you ever been to an auction? Where do they always start?
$1. We start low.
Start low. But have you ever seen the little red wagon go for like $1,000 more than you were willing to pay for it? That's right. So what we should do here is let's try to kick in the auction effect. Let's make yours sell for more than any house that ever has happened in this neighborhood. Here's the way to do it. We're going to price it about 10,000 low. Here's the thing. Will we get offers? Do you have to accept offers? You can do what with them? Counter, right? You can counter, right? So you have the option to reject or counter. But here's the other thing. What happens when we get 2 offers? What happens when we get 3 offers? And what happens in a bidding war? And who wins? No, I'm going to win no matter what. I've already won. I got a chance to have a meeting with you. I'm just telling you what I say. It works. Until it doesn't. So does that help? Does that help, guys? Yeah? Good? Okay. No discounts. Just remember there's no effing discount. That'll help you all. By the way, that works with a pool too. You got a neighborhood without a pool? Just ask how many of the letter F is in pool. There's no effing pool. Don't ask me about it again. Yeah.
Can you make no effing discount bumper sticker for us?
I like that. With a little R on it, right? The realtor R. So that works for a lot of things. There's no effing balcony. Like if you're selling condos and yours doesn't have a balcony, there's no effing balcony. There's like any objection you could probably answer with it, but I do want you to remember something. There is an effing fee. I'm just telling you. Yes, ma'am. Quick. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's awesome. Let's call it X%, but yeah, they paid you full commission, right? And you deserved it because you weren't willing to negotiate with your money. Here's another thing I'll tell you about meeting, is when you meet up, meet up. When you meet people who are more influential than you, more successful than you. Here's how you know. Are you a little nervous for the meeting? If you're a little nervous and you know you got to be tight and sharp for the meeting, then you're meeting the right people. If you're meeting down, you're going to be too relaxed. You're going to take it for granted. You're not going to have as good a meeting. When you meet up, meet up. Bottom line, do you want a relationship with them? Is the person open to a relationship with you? If it's yes, yes, then you're going to move to the next step, which is invite. Otherwise, you're simply going to move on. That's how I judge it. Do I want to have a relationship with them? Are they open to having a relationship with me? If it's yes, then we're going to go to the next step. So this is invite. Invite the people you meet from your visit to an event. Events must be a part of your business. Has to be. And I'm going to show you why. Visit, meet, invite. Relationship mastery. That is the play. That's called the networking play. Ladies and gentlemen, remember it forever. Go to the membership chair. Don't go direct. Don't just go to a networking event and think you're going to wow them with beauty and impressions, or your card, or your pitch. Please, dear God, not the pitch. You're going to win them over using somebody else. The triangle of trust. All right? You good with that? The last thing I want to cover is event mastery. You guys ready? Good with this? How many of you are at an event? You're at an event right now. You know what I know about people who go to events? Is they like to go to events. Here's what I find about event mastery that's so awesome too, is all these people that sell you things, how do they sell you their expired program? Do they call all the agents who got out of the business? Think about that for a second. That would be an expired real estate agent, right? Right? Oh, they got out. I should call. That would be calling expireds. Do they? No. How do they sell that typically? At an event, yeah? Right? If they're selling you a email database program where you can email, how are they selling you that? Are they selling you that by email? They're selling you that through events. How do most coaching companies sell their stuff? They sell it through events. You know how you should build your army of ambassadors and grow your tribe? It's through events. Bring your tribe together, even if it's small, because it won't be small for long. So, oh, by the way, what are you calling your database about today? What are you going to call them about today? Or what did you call them about this morning? Or what did you call them about yesterday? Anybody call your database? Anybody call somebody from your database? What did you call them about?
I just called to check in. I sent them an email yesterday and said you wanted to look at it.
Okay, so that's actually a client or a potential client, right? So what about the other people? What about people that are past clients? Yeah.
I call and see if there's anything I can do.
Okay, so you called to see if you could help, right? Spirit of generosity, yeah.
I had a couple of friends and acquaintances that have children graduating, so I called to congratulate them.
There you go, right? So you saw on Facebook and you called to congratulate. Now, what if we could take those very good ideas and make them even better? What if you could have a reason to call every day of the year? Would that be good? Like actually a reason that was attractive, like super attractive. What if you could call and wish them great graduation and then do something? Or call and say, how can I help you, and do something else that could get them moving towards you? So the best thing you can ever do, the best call, the best email, could you imagine a presentation where somebody tells you the best video, best email, best phone call, best text message, best Facebook post, best Facebook message, best direct mail postcard, and best ad you could ever run? Could you imagine? I'm doing that right now. I'm going to tell you the best communication you can ever have with the world. The best communication, the best reason to ever contact your database is an invitation to an event. It's an invitation to an event. By definition, it's attractive. Would you agree? I'm invital. Invitation is from Latin, invita, which vita means vital, right? Your vital signs, your heart. And you're saying, come in to my life. That's what an invitation says, literally, by definition. So it's an invitation to an event is the best. So what do you have to do to invite people to an event? What do you need to have? You need to have an event. You need to have an event. Even if nobody comes to it, you need to have an event to invite them to. We good? The most powerful communication to your database is an invitation to an event. And just so you guys know, an open house is an event. So if you need an event on short notice, find somebody to hold their house open and then call your entire database to invite them to a sneak preview open house 1 hour before your real open house. So you would do, let's say you do a 1 to 3 open house, noon to 1 would be a sneak preview just for you because I know you, and we'll have snacks. You can come on by, look at decoration ideas, look at whatever. We can talk about whatever you want, but do me a favor. Now, here's the thing. Nobody's going to show up. And that's freaking awesome. How much does it cost you if nobody shows up? Here's the other thing. Is this business related? Yes. Did you say anything about business? No. What I just gave you is the secret, people. That is the answer to it all. It is. It's an invitation to an event. Now, I'm going to show you how we can be even more proactive in a bigger way, right? The power is in the invitation. Now, the biggest mistakes top producers make, the number one biggest mistake is no events, is not having events. I literally had a coaching client who did 200 transactions, never did an open house. I mean, that's wrong. Then I got her set on doing 3 events a year, and all of a sudden she's doing 500 transactions a year. So it's one of those where, and by the way, the 300 plus transactions, all by referral. All by referral. So the number 2 biggest mistake is having one event. Only one event. There's a lot of people you know that do this. They have their holiday event or whatever it is. They have the pie day. They have one event. The problem is, what do they talk about in February? What do they talk about in April? What we need is an event to talk about every season. So there is a better way, and there is a magical number of events. So the secret is in the series of events. The secret, the power is really having 3 events. That's the answer, right? So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the All Yap. And the All Yap is the yearly appreciation plan for everybody you know, and it looks like that. Isn't that cool? Now, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because you can just get the gist of this pretty easily. Wow, that is really faint. Okay, so January and February are invite. That's really hard to read, I guess. And then March is event. April is follow-up. The first 2 months are invite. You're going to invite for 8 weeks. You're going to have your event, and then you're going to have a month to follow up. That's something that's different than a lot of people's plans. They try to do quarterly events with a lot of people. It's just too often. It's 3 events. It's spring, summer, and fall, or it could be February, January event. February, Valentine's Day, great time for event. Super Bowl is a great time for event. And then you have one in the summer, and then you have one in the beginning of the fourth quarter. Right? That's the perfect formula. Now what happens is at your first event, you'll get like 3 or 4 referrals. We have a class called Event Mastery I'm going to talk about later. You might get more than that at your first event by following that system. Your second event, you're going to get 11 to 15 referrals. Your third event, you could get 20 to 895 referrals. Yes, we had a client get 895. You can get on Referrals podcast and hear her story. So we need to plan it out. Failing to plan is planning to fail, but you don't need to do a ton of planning. We have a 52-week plan for the app. I don't want you to get like buried in the details of this. I just want you to know we have a plan. We have a system for this. And here's the thing about events. How many of you think events are a lot of work? They are a lot of work if we do it in 4 weeks or 3 weeks or 2 weeks. But if you had 8 weeks to work on an event, would there be less to do each week? In some weeks, it's literally nothing except for do RSVPs, organize your RSVPs. So the cool thing about this is, and there's a sweet spot. If I told you about a Pi Day event, or if I told you about a national event I'm doing in Orlando in November, do you care as much right now? You're like, oh my God, like that's a ways away. But if I told you there was an event I'm doing in 8 weeks, do you feel a sense of urgency about it? You absolutely do. It's the same way with your database. So here's the other thing. When you have an event and you want people to go to it, all of a sudden there's an energy about it. You have a deadline. You have a goal. What if your goal for the rest of this year was to have 2 events and you already had the dates picked? And that was your goal. You guys understand SMART goals, yes? Right? Specific, is it specific that you're going to have an event on 2 days? Yeah. Is it measurable? Yeah. Is it attainable? 100%. Is it relevant? Yes, to referrals for sure. And is it time bound? What if your business goal for the next 6 months was to have 2 events, one in like 8 weeks, and then one about 12 weeks after that? Now, if you had a date and you had an event, how would you feel? What would you feel a sense of urgency to do? Because you want people to go. What would you want to do? You would be on the phone. You would be talking to people. You would be having conversations. You would want people to attend, yes? And some of you have, your biggest fear is nobody would go. Well, if that's your biggest fear, you're going to work your butt off to get people there. But what if I told you smaller events have bigger results? What if I told you it was okay if only 8 people showed up? Like my very first event ever, which was Earth Day birthday, where I gave away a twig for people to plant in their yard. It's really a tree, but you should see these things. They're so pathetic. I had to wrap it up in green foil. I had to wrap it. I had to put a balloon on it. I had to put it in a coffee mug just to make it look significant. I'm serious. Arbor Day, org is where you can get they're twigs. I mean, it's like I was so like, I thought we were burying trees, like trees. And then they grew into trees. I literally got a listing appointment about 12 years ago where I went and they go, you see those 3 trees in the corner of the yard? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, we got those at your event like 12 years ago. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I mean, that's, talk about like permanently in their head, you know. You can't even buy it. So, all right. The power is in the invitation. So who are we going to invite? You're going to invite everyone. All yap means everyone. So first, and by the way, there's going to be some surprises here. Make sure you write them down. First of all, the first people you're going to invite are the top people in your database. Top people in your database. You're going to invite current and past clients, but do not call your event a client appreciation event because we don't want to exclude anyone. Got it? It's not a client. And by the way, we also don't want RESPA to kick in. If you call it a friends and family event, like an Earth Day birthday, or I Love You Latte, or National Donut Day celebration, or Pi Day or the Great Pi Day giveaway or comedy night. Please notice, RESPA doesn't kick in for any of those. But if you use the word client, all of a sudden you got to watch out for all incentives, incentivizing, rewards, dollars, investments, promotion, everything else. But if it's a friends and family, you're just having a party for your friends. That's what you're doing. That's what this is. Networking partners and affiliates, you want to invite them. Also, Facebook friends, you want to invite your Facebook friends. Now, you don't have to. These are just ideas. Half your Facebook friends are realtors. That could be interesting. So, out-of-town agents, this is somebody you got to invite. You're part of those groups, yes, on Facebook. If you're not, join the group, like Real Estate Mastermind, Lab Coat Agents, Gen. Join our group. Invite them to your event. Are they going to come? Maybe. The truth of the matter is you don't know, but they're out-of-town agents. Would you like their referrals? You're in Orlando. How many of you are in Orlando? People are moving here from everywhere. In fact, most of the people you work with are probably from out of the area anyway. So you want to invite out-of-town agents to your event. Also, you want to invite everyone you've ever met. Everyone you've ever met and everybody you meet. Invite them. Invite them. Are they going to go? Maybe. Maybe. Here's the other one that surprises a lot of people. Your internet leads. Every single lead you've ever gotten, invite them. And you'll get people that reply back that say, who are you, right? Or, or you can take me off the list, but you'll get people that say, I'd love to go. Or, can I come? I'm not a client. And the answer is yes. We have Dan Balzer in Minnesota invited about 1,000 internet leads, and he had 68 show up. 68 for a superhero movie. 68 show up. One of them that was the CFO of a Fortune 1000 company, and she was thrilled. And she came. They took her to the buyer's agent who invited him or her. And then they chatted. The CFO ended up buying $1 million house in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and became a huge advocate for Dan and his team to be the de facto relocation company for that company from an invite. So, and then here's the thing. Let's say you have a smaller group coming. Everybody who RSVP'd, you're going to call and say, why don't you bring a friend? The bring a friend strategy is super powerful because once they've invited a friend, how many are going to show up? They're both going to show up because they're committed to each other. You just gave them peer accountability for each other. So bring a friend strategy is very, very powerful if you've got a smaller group.
Have you ever saw that happen opposite effect where now they don't want to come because they now don't have a friend that can come?
Do what now?
Like if their friend gets sick, something happens, do you ever see that maybe they don't come now because they were originally planning to go with a friend?
No, not usually, right? I mean, people don't show up sometimes, but actually I've got something in here where I'll show you how to make sure they do show up, right? But yeah, I don't see it where the friends are sick very often, but I do sometimes hear that the kid's sick, and then I find out the kid's really not sick. I found that out, right? Kind of like, school that way. All right, so here's the thing. You want them to show up? So we did housewarming parties. We had a lot of fun, and I want you to know that one of the things that happened is I hired a certified meeting professional to start running my events, which was the greatest move I ever did. She told us that we needed to confirm attendance. So I didn't care who showed up. 20 people was great, but we had about 50% of the people who RSVP'd would show up. Well, we started doing confirmations. We confirmed 24 hours before and 1 hour before. Our attendance went from 50% on average to 80, 90, and sometimes over 100% attendance by confirming and using the bring a friend strategy. Confirm, confirm, confirm. The last 24 hours, your job stops being invite and starts being confirm. Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I would not have them call the virtual assistant. I would have them call and say the event team, event coordinator, event leader, event manager, right? Something like director of events. So, all right. So that is the all yap. Now I'm going to finish up with what we call the top yap. So here's the thing. The all yap is for everybody. Everybody's going to be invited. And then we have the top yap, which is for our top people. You guys have top people, right? You have people who deserve more. This is the plan for the inner circle people. Okay. Note to self. Put all of them unanimated. That was a lot of clicks. All right. So what's the difference between the all yap and the top yap? One of them is there are 4 events in the top yap. But here's the difference. You're going to invite less people to each one of these. So let's say you have 100 top people that you know. You're going to invite 25 to the first one, 25 to the second one, 25 to the third one, and 25 to the fourth one. In order of importance, your top people are invited to the first one, and if a couple of them are just superior and awesome, go ahead and invite them to the second, third, and fourth ones. But this is smaller. These are smaller, more intimate. Yeah. So the secret is to have a series of these and to have a system. This is called the all yaps. So the power is in the invitation, as I said before. Who are you inviting to this? Only the top people, right? So what are the difference between these two? You have the top events, there's 4 events, they're small, private, exclusive, not shared on Facebook. It's just 20, 25 people. Same event, different people. You could have the same event like a board of advisors. The all yap, 3 events, unlimited invites, very public. Everyone's invited. Your dollar per person is going to be much lower. You want it to be much lower, like a donut or donuts or ice cream or coffee, right? And then here's just some nuggets on events. Make sure you partner with sponsors, right? Just like Aaron. Aaron's literally showing you every month an example of event mastery. Have partners who are your sponsors. Partner with a charity or nonprofit. Does Aaron have a charity partner? Yeah, 100,000 plus to them. The fortunes in the follow-up, you definitely want to do that. And there's people like you, just like you, who are implementing this. Case study 174, his name's Brandon. He had 222 attendees, 200 responses to his questions. He had 39 referrals and 10 me's, so 49 pieces of business from 222 people. Is that good? Right, very good. He's busy. Case study here is this is Toral, 216, 145 attendees, got 44 responses, 11 referrals and 5 me's at our very first event, which was a barbecue. So 15 pieces of business, is that good to follow up with? Very manageable, right? So Scott Edwards is an anomaly. You're going to want to check out Referrals podcast episodes 241 and 246. He got 815 referrals last year. 815 referrals last year. Here's the kicker. He's not a realtor. He's a lender. He's a lender who generated 815 referrals. So he tells that story in episodes 241 and 246. He runs the referral mastery system. Here's a great story of Cynthia Bear. She got 148 referrals in one day. 2 new buyers and 1 new seller, literally that she showed and met with that day. And here's the rest of the story. She ran the same event the next time. She got 207 referrals and 35 that she sent out to her sponsors. Do you think her sponsors were happy getting referrals from her? So, good stuff. All right, so quickly. The number 1 reason to contact your database is an invitation to an event. Don't have an event without a sponsor. Make sure that you have door prizes, which we're going to give away in a second. Don't have an event without partnering with a charity or nonprofit. Make sure you get photos. Take photos and get videos. And then several of these, right? The energy's in the event. And then the proof is in the pudding, right? So here's how many of you, we're in the home stretch. We've got about 10 minutes left. So first of all, how many of you learned something new or were reminded of something you should be doing? Raise your hand, right? Look around the room. Put your hands together if you learned something, right? So I appreciate you being here. Here's the thing, is I'm going to put an offer out there. And listen, it's the best offer I've ever given out, and Aaron knows it, and I shared it with him. And here's the thing. I know you've been sold things, and you've been sold a lot. Here's the thing. This is an investment in yourself, and it's an investment in me.